Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Unfinished TBR. This is your warning at the beginning of the episode to always check the trigger warnings on any book that you pick up, no matter how small. Always look out for your mental health first. This is also a trigger warning for this episode. We talk about some of those dark topics at times, so just keep that in mind going forward and look out for yourself. We love you. Enjoy the episode.
This past week, our region was hit with a hurricane, which is insane.
Yeah. Never would have guessed.
Never, of all things, a hurricane is just absolutely insane.
Yes.
This area is obviously so unprepared for hurricanes, so we were hit. Luckily, our town was not hit.
Yeah, not
right.
specifically, but the whole surrounding area.
Close enough to home.
Devastated.
Yes.
Devastation.
Yes.
So our hearts...
We do have people affected by it.
Yes.
So.
Yes, our hearts are absolutely with people from Western North Carolina and any other town or region that was hit so hard with this Hurricane Helene.
There's lots of people that are actively trying to help right now that we'll try to find one.
There are people that have lost homes, which is insane for a
Yes.
hurricane.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the mountains.
Yes.
We live in the mountains.
Yeah. And it's unheard of. Nobody
Yeah.
was prepared.
No.
Anything that you can do to help
Absolutely.
is going to be, I know, is going to be so appreciated. So keep them in your thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our heart is with you all.
We love you.
Yeah.
All right. So we are back.
We are. Welcome back.
Okay. So I did realize in the last episode that we said that was week 5, but that's going to be week 6. We just recorded it before this one, which is actually week 5.
5th recorded episode.
Yes.
6th posted episode.
I say you just poorly edit yourself, like bleeping out that part and you going, 6.
6. Week 6 in the most like monotone voice possible.
This is our 6th.
Make Matt do it.
Yes, dude, that would be fantastic. I could never convince him though. He would never. I'm pretty sure he still hasn't seen an episode, but
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, Aaron, I think he watched the first episode and then he's like, I can't get into it because if I had like a hunting or fishing podcast, you wouldn't be able to get into it. And I'm like, well, I would at least turn the volume down to 0 and play it.
exactly.
I'd get you your view.
Exactly. So I have watched the episodes on his account on YouTube.
You forced this. You're changing his selection. His algorithm's going to be different.
Exactly.
My husband is a regular listener. He listens to all of them the day they air.
We love Caleb.
His
Caleb.
feedback.
Yes.
Do you? I don't know. He's afraid he's getting lynched for some of it.
No.
I feel like I've enjoed everything. He said
Yes.
that he enjoyed something that I did, which is a first.
He said they should be happy. I was nice to Ali. That's new.
You know, I was watching back one of the episodes and I can't remember what we were talking about, but Casey, you went like that and I was like, oh my God, she got that from Caleb. Like you were trying to understand something and you went,
Maybe. Who knows?
Dude, like half of my personality is Matthew.
you don't even realize what you pick up from your husband.
Yes.
Like I don't know
You
what
just
I do.
morph.
Well, I'm a morpher anyway.
Yeah.
Like I change myself depending on the situation. It's a problem.
You're right.
So, welcome to the actual week 5 of this podcast. As I said during our last recording, this is longer than some of my relationships lasted. So thanks for sticking with us. We are very grateful. I want to give a special shout out to Kim, because I know you're listening every Monday. You made the comment that you love listening to us every Monday, and we are so happy to join you every Monday. So love you.
Shout out Aunt Kim.
Love you. Yes. So
I can say Aunt Kim, right?
yeah.
Okay.
For
Aunt
sure.
Kim, I accidentally said your last name a minute ago and we had to redo that.
Lord bless.
So this week's episode is our September reading debrief.
Yes.
And man, we went through some books this month.
I'm gonna go ahead and apologize first off. If you can look down on the timestamp and see how long this is going to be. This is going to be a long episode, I do believe. We went ham.
We got through 29 books between the three of us.
And that's just mostly them. So I read 4.
No, I thought you did 5.
Good.
You did 5.
Did I do 5?
Yes. Lady, give yourself some credit. I could have sworn you did 5.
No, just 4.
Oh, no. Yeah, because I did 13. Ali did 12. I beat Ali.
Oh. I beat her.
How do you finish 3 books in one day? I think you cheated.
That wasn't fair.
I DNF'd 2 books.
Okay, then you won.
Did you add them into that?
No.
Didn't.
But I am gonna bring them up.
Do a shout out for them.
Yeah.
At least, because you at least got to tell why you didn't
Right.
finish
Yeah.
it.
One was purposeful. One was what?
What
is
am I
this
doing?
even? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll explain later.
My dad likes to say, "Life's too short to dance with ugly women," and I take that mindset into reading with me. And life is too short to finish a book that I don't like.
Life's too short.
There's too many good books out there. So.
Oh my God.
That's my dad for you. I guess we. I'm Hannah.
I'm Ali.
I'm Casey.
And welcome to the Unfinished TBR. So, what are we currently reading right now, ladies?
Oh, look, got a.
On Kindle.
That's not what I'm reading.
For Libby.
That's different.
I'm reading A Little Life.
A Little Life.
Yes.
What are you reading? A Little Life or Lie?
A Little Life.
Oh, okay.
Life.
Yeah.
It's that one book where it's by Hanya. Oh, I'm gonna be very problematic with this last name. Yana Gihari.
It's a good try.
I tried. Yeah, A Little Life. You'd recognize the front cover.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Boy, oh boy.
How far are you through that one?
Boy, oh boy.
Is it one you have to sit down a lot?
It's a lot. I'm 17% of the way through.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say, homegirl likes talking. So
I gotcha.
Allie can relate. Hannah can relate.
Yes.
yeah, but I don't like it when other people do it.
At least she's honest.
And I'm listening to Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune, the same guy who wrote House in the Cerulean Sea.
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm becoming a T.J. Klune fan.
We like that guy.
Yeah, I love that guy.
I'm on the wait list for House on the Cerulean.
That's crazy because I got it like 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, hey, I see you. Okay.
What about
Hannah,
you?
what are you reading?
Oh, I am. I've got my physical copy is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. My Kindle copy is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata.
Yeah, probably.
I may or may not be saying that correctly. I apologize. And then the audio is The Other Mrs.
Okay.
by Mary Kubica.
Yeah.
You need
was
to
one
read
of
it.
mine.
Okay.
You need to read it.
Okay.
Yes, I did pick it up because of you. I picked up Frankenstein because, hello,
Frankenstein, obviously.
it's Halloween.
Maybe I
And
should
then
reread
All
that one.
Roads Lead Here is the book club book that my Aunt Sherry is currently reading through her book club. So shout out Aunt Sherry. I see what you mean about this taking a while to get through. But I'm doing it for you. I love you. So, yeah.
Lord. Well, I am listening to The Couple Next Door by Sherry Lapena.
Oh Lord, we got some last names in this discussion. Good
I'm horrible
God.
with names anyways. And then I'm physically reading The Best Way to Bury Your Husband by Alexia Casali.
Is there a step-by-step guide?
Yeah, you
I've
don't let
not
me know
gotten
that,
to it
right?
yet. I'm going back and forth between what I
Got it.
consider spooky books. So this is my calming but somewhat spooky book.
I
Nice.
gotcha.
It's listed as a mystery rom-com. So I feel like
like
that's
it.
right up my alley for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. For sure.
I like it.
And Casey, I guess you are first on. So we're doing this monthly reading debrief a little bit differently. We're going to go in order of when we finish the book through the month. Mm-hmm. So the rules are the same. It's the books that we finished, not necessarily started, but finished on a certain day. So you finished one on September 1st, right?
I did.
Nice.
I told you all I would finish this one probably when I got home that day.
Yes.
So I read All the Light We Cannot See. Almost forgot where I'm at. Let me pull up my notes. Okay, so I finished All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. And I did this in the form of the audiobook from Libby, so that way I could listen to it while I was driving. Here's my short synopsis on it. Marie Laure, it's French, so I'm probably mispronouncing it, lives in Paris near the Museum of Natural History where her father works. When she is 12, the Nazis occupy Paris, and father and daughter flee to the walled citadel of Saint Malo, where Marie Laure's reclusive great-uncle lives in a tall house by the sea. With them, they carry what might be the museum's most valuable and dangerous jewel. In a mining town in Germany, Werner Pfennig, German, an orphan, grows up with his younger sister, enchanted by a crude radio they find that brings them news and stories from places they've never been or seen. Werner becomes an expert at building and fixing these crucial, now instrumental, and is enlisted to use his talent to track down the resistance. Deftly interweaving the lives of Marie Laure and Werner, Doerr illuminates the ways against all odds people try to be good to one another. From the highly acclaimed multiple award-winning author... I'm going to leave that word out. You can cut that. You did great, guy. So I give this one 5 stars.
Very good.
It was really
It's
good.
very good.
Yeah, I still haven't tried to watch the show.
Yeah.
I'm afraid it'll dampen my thoughts on it.
It's tough.
It
the
was a
first
very-
15 minutes, I was already so mad.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I
Yeah.
DNF'd it after 15 minutes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's not good. I love this. This is about World War II and both sides just not understanding, how it's hurting others and how the people of Germany were very shut out from what was actually happening. I mean, they were only told what they were allowed to be told at this time. It was very sweet. There is a trigger warning for this one. There is some brief essay in this one. In a surprising moment, it kind of come out of nowhere for me, but I pushed through. I usually will DNF a lot of those, but...
So you liked it?
Yes, I really liked this. It was a very heavy start to the month of September, but I thought that was a good way to begin, and that way you can lighten it up a little bit later.
Right.
So, all right. Who was next? We had Hannah.
Yes, so this one was the one I mentioned during the last reading debrief that I was currently reading. The Promise by V.J. Dunraven, which is The Heirs of Cornwall, Book 1. I read this one on my Kindle. I've had it for years on my Kindle. Probably 10 years.
Oh my
God. On my Kindle, yeah. I've done this was probably my 3rd read through. I just get the hankering sometimes. It's a historical piece, you get the hankering for that time period and a little bit of risque business. And so here's the synopsis. Richard Christopher Radcliffe, the Marquis of Sunderland. The man Miss Cassandra Carlyle has loved since she was 8 years old, who promised he would never forget her when he left for Oxford, has returned with his betrothed in hand. Disheartened, Cassandra asks her family to take her away to London for her first season. With help from her friend Jeremy, she soon finds herself touted as the latest darling of the ton. Cassandra could not be more pleased with her newfound popularity and impressive list of eligible suitors. Will Richard take notice and come charging on a white horse, or will she find love where she least expects it, with someone who has been around all along? The Promise is a poignant tale that will take you on a journey into the lives of childhood friends as they experience young love, broken promises and dreams, and discover the true meaning of love everlasting. It's cutesy. It
sounds very cutesy.
It's cutesy. It's childhood best friend. I'm a sucker for them. I've talked about it before. I'm a sucker for childhood best friends. And it just, I did forget how many punctuation errors there are in this book, though. It's so bad. Like, I remember it being a thing whenever I first got it. And I think I've gotten more sensitive to punctuation errors now. I don't know why, but it's like, ugh, some of the things I was just cringing. Like, she would put a comma and then a hyphen.
What?
To add a second thought.
Even I know that's wrong.
And then, like, she would do that, put the hyphens in for twice in one sentence sometimes. It was, you know.
Interesting.
You have to push through it. But, and she used, like, a whole bunch of big words, like, the kind of words that, more sophisticated sounding words for the time period, you know? Like, I don't know the meaning of half of them. I couldn't define half of them. I just kind of like, I probably couldn't pronounce half of them. It's just kind of like I skimmed over it in my brain.
Like, I understood the gist of the sentence. That's all we needed.
Yes,
so exactly. What did you rate this one?
So I rated this one 3 stars. Okay, so I did some research while I was trying to find where this book is available, right? Because I like to tell you guys where you can find it if you're interested in reading it. I could not find it on Amazon. No version of it. I could not find it on Amazon. I couldn't find it on, what's the other one that I tried? I tried Audible. Nowhere. Abe Books. alibris.com. All of those. I even looked. I went as far as on the Amazon page, it said visit her website for more information on this author. I visited her website. It is no longer found. The website is down. I was so confused. So I went to her Facebook page like a creeper, and I found out that The Promise has been completely rebranded and renamed to The Wrong Prince.
Oh my God.
Oh.
I don't know when this happened, but it got completely changed. The title, the cover, everything. And yeah, it took me quite a few scrolls down.
You'll
to
have
find
to do
that.
a reread to see if it was edited.
Yes. See, that's what I don't know. I don't know if this edited version would fix some of those abysmal punctuation errors. I don't know if it would, kind of make the story flow a little bit better in the places that it was lacking. I don't know if even the story itself might have been changed if any scenes were taken out, added. I don't know any of that stuff as far as The Wrong Prince. But it is, I checked the synopsis and everything, and it's the exact same synopsis. So, The Wrong Prince is available on Kindle Unlimited, and right now it's on Audible for free with a basic membership.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So that makes me want to get it, and just to see.
Just to know.
I need a little bit of a break because, I just read it. So I need a little bit of a break before I try, but maybe my next read through in 4 or 5 years, I'll try it again. So yeah, 3 stars.
Whenever you're like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Right. Whenever I forget how bad the punctuation and stuff is.
Right.
And like I said, maybe it's not that bad with this new rebranding, if you will. So yeah, we shall see. So that was my first one of the month. Who's next? Ali? Ali, you had 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Nice.
So on the 4th of September, I finished Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson.
That one, just the title alone,
is a lot.
Got me
But it's
thinking.
a quick one.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not. And, it discussed in the book, oh, I know that you're listening to this. So I don't know if there is a physical copy or not. I got it off of Libby. And it was an audiobook that I listened to. And he was like, I know you're listening to this going down the road. And so it made me think, I'm like, do some books only have audiobooks?
I feel like they'd be selling themselves short
Right,
if they
right.
did.
Yeah.
So the little synopsis is, everyone in my family has killed someone. Some of us, the high achievers, have killed more than once. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but it is the truth. Some of us are good, others are bad, and some just unfortunate. I'm Ernest Cunningham. Call me Ern or Ernie. I wish I'd killed whoever decided our family reunion should be at a ski resort, but it's a little more complicated than that. Have I killed someone? Yes, I have. Who was it? Let's get started.
Nice.
I rated this a 3 out of 5. It's so the way that I do my ratings, which we may have to do like a whole episode on this. My 5 out of 5 is I have no complaints about this book. It is perfect. I wouldn't change anything about it. I would read it again. Like,
Same.
It is my ideal book.
Right.
4 out of 5 was I really enjoyed this book. I would recommend it to a lot of people. You know, I think about this book after it's done. It's just, you know, not my favorite.
Yeah.
And then 3 out of 5 where it's good. I probably wouldn't read it again.
Right.
But it was nice for the time that I read it.
Would you
Yeah.
still recommend a 3?
I mean, it probably wouldn't come up.
Okay.
You know, I
Yeah.
would not recommend it.
Right.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't go out of your way to
Yeah.
say you need to read this.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I gotcha.
Like if I have something that's a 4 out of 5 and somebody is talking about something that they like, I'll be like, oh, you need to read this book then.
Right.
Yeah.
If it fits that
Yeah.
specific person,
Right.
then it's like, okay, now I'll bring
Versus
it up.
a 5 out of 5, I'm telling everybody and their mother.
I don't care what your taste is, you need to read this book because you're
Yes.
going to like it. It's going to change
I'm
you as a
telling
person.
everybody and their mother about this book.
Yes. Okay. I agree with that.
And I actually have a 5 out of 5 this month.
Oh.
I have a couple.
So that's crazy.
Yes.
It's because that's all we did this month.
Yes, that is.
It's hard not to find a 5 out of 5
Well,
when that's all we did.
You get some 2s in there too. 'Cause in more ways than one, some of those stink.
So
Anyway.
I really don't have anything to say. You'll notice that if I rate something a 3 out of 5, I really just don't have anything to say about it. But so
Try
I
it
guess
if you
I'm
want.
also the next
Yes.
one. So I read Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Fun fact, I've seen Christina Lauren on quite a few like author names or whatever. Did you know it's 2 writers? It's 2 authors.
No.
What?
Christina
No.
last name, Lauren last name. They like combine. They each write and they like combine the story.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Ooh, so it's like an what do they call it? Alias?
I guess.
For
But
both
it's like
of them.
two.
Pen name, yeah.
Huh.
Pen name.
Pen name. I'm dumb.
Yeah. I
an
finished this
alias.
on the 8th.
It's the same.
I do believe that this is when I DNF'd Triptych by Karen Slaughter.
Which was the first
This was
one?
an accidental one. Yeah, this was an accidental one. My Libby ran out.
Ah.
Yeah. So I'm on hold
Been
again.
there.
Yeah,
Yes.
my Libby ran out. So
I've been there with like 15 minutes left in a book.
oh, don't
3
even
chapters.
get me started.
I was reading Neon Gods when I went into labor with my son.
Oh, that's the reason you went. That's the reason you went into labor.
And I had 3 chapters left, and he went to children's, and I couldn't finish it because I wasn't focused enough to listen,
Right.
and it ran out, and I was like, oh.
How dare you not be focused enough on the
Oh, I
book
know.
and
Checking
be
on
trying
my
to
kid at the
push
hospital.
a human out of you? Oh my gosh.
How dare.
Okay, so Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren.
Yes.
I finished this on the 8th. It says, told in alternating timelines between then and now, teenage Elliot and Macy grow from friends to much more, spending weekends and lazy summers together in a house outside of San Francisco, devouring books, sharing favorite words, and talking through their growing pains and triumphs. As adults, they have become strangers to one another until their chance reunion. Although their memories are obscured by the agony of what happened that night so many years ago, Elliot will come to understand the truth behind Macy's decade-long silence and will have to overcome the past and himself to revive her faith in the possibility of an all-consuming love. So, spoiler warning. Spoiler alert. He cheated. No excuses.
No.
Accidental or not.
No.
He cheated.
Yeah,
I
no.
hate the cheating trope.
Yes.
I don't like it.
Yes.
I don't want to hear it about it ever again.
No.
He cheated.
Yes.
No excuses. 3 out of
None.
5, Christina Lauren, I'm coming for you.
None.
How do you
Both of
accidentally cheat? Did you just trip and
Yeah,
fall?
drunk. got drunk.
No,
That's not accidental. That's
Drunk
just
actions are sober thoughts.
They are.
You cannot convince me otherwise.
He said,
don't even try.
He said, I was so out of it, I thought she was you.
No.
After the night he told her he loved her and took her virginity. The night.
No. Absolutely
oh my
not.
God.
No.
That's rage bait right there.
Yes, 100%. They just did that because they knew how dividing it would be. I will not stand for cheating
Because he is so sweet. I loved him. I loved him. I was like, oh my God, he's trying so hard because it is a second chance romance. He's trying so hard to get her back. 10
Sounds
years
like
later.
it's a third chance romance.
Oh my God.
You don't get more than two chances.
you
Absolutely not.
You have no idea. You have no idea.
God. Ugh, it makes me
Read
angry.
it so you can be mad with me.
That makes me even more excited for our next episode. We're going to talk about this some more.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Yeah. No, I rated it a 3 out of 5 because, hey, they don't always have to end up back together.
No.
You can just leave.
Yeah.
That can be a happy ending as well.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And that's how my next one was, which I reckon I am next.
You're next.
Okay.
You're next.
Yeah. That's how my next one was. They don't have to end up together. I read It Ends With Us
Oh,
by
trigger
Colleen
warning.
Hoover. This one is a
Can
massive
I tell the story?
story.
You were reading this.
Okay, so I finished this one on September 10th. Our school reunion, I read it from September 3rd to September 10th. Our high school reunion was on the 7th. Mm-hmm. And we get there, we get sat down. I don't even know if we've told you this.
No.
So we get there, we get sat down, and we're sitting next to each other. Our husbands on our other sides, right? And she reaches over something, and, and I noticed she's got a bruise on her forearm. And here I am reading this book.
Oh, God.
And I motioned for her to lean closer to me. And I was like, hey, are you okay? Is there anything you need to tell me? And I kind of gestured down to her bruise, and she was like, no, that wasn't. I can't remember what it was.
I just started cackling because we've already talked about how I'm accident prone.
Yeah.
As
Yes.
I have bruises, I have no idea where they came from.
Oh, same.
I think I remembered at the time where this bruise came from, but I don't anymore.
I can't remember. You
But
told
I'm
me.
literally cackling because if anybody has ever met Aaron,
He's not the type at all.
I'd be the one to hit him.
What to say?
he's so tall that I'd be having to go like this.
Let me go get my step stool so I can hurt you.
Oh gosh, yeah. So I was reading this book, and that's the first thing that came to mind. And
I know.
I gotta look out for my girls. I gotta look out for you guys.
Hey, it doesn't hurt to ask.
Oh, yeah,
Because what if that was happening and I just wasn't telling you all?
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, they know.
God, I really hope.
It doesn't hurt to ask.
I really hope that you would tell me,
Oh, if Aaron hit me,
dude.
We just find him later.
Make sure you share that book with us.
Yeah, I'll
on,
pass it along.
What is it?
and this is not shaming
best way to
anybody
bury
who.
your husband.
Yeah.
No.
Some people, like, you are in a situation where you cannot leave.
Yes.
I luckily am in a situation where if something were to happen like that, it won't. But if something were to happen like that, I am in a situation and I have family and I have friends who would take me in.
Yes. And that's the
If
whole
that were to
point
happen.
of this book.
Right.
Is that
She doesn't have any family.
Yeah, she doesn't have anybody except a mom who's been through the same thing. And on top of that, she grew up with it. So it's so easy to make excuses sometimes. It's so easy to go too far back and look too much, not close enough at the problem itself, and just pretend that it's not happening. So we are not shaming anybody who is in that situation. But talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Because anybody who is decent wants to help.
Right.
So I will go ahead and read the synopsis. Lillie hasn't always had it easy, but that's never stopped her from working hard for the life she wants. She's come a long way from the small town in Maine where she grew up. She graduated from college, moved to Boston, and started her own business. So when she feels a spark with a gorgeous neurosurgeon named Ryle Kincaid, everything in Lillie's life suddenly seems almost too good to be true. Ryle is assertive, stubborn, maybe even a little arrogant. He's also sensitive, brilliant, and has a total soft spot for Lillie. And the way he looks in scrubs certainly doesn't hurt. Lillie can't get him out of her head, but Ryle's complete aversion to relationships is disturbing. Even as Lillie finds herself becoming the exception to his no dating rule, she can't help but wonder what made him that way in the first place. As questions about her new relationship overwhelm her, so do thoughts of Atlas Corrigan, her first love and a link to the past she left behind. He was her kindred spirit, her protector. When Atlas suddenly reappears, everything Lillie has built with Ryle is threatened. So, I read this one. Me and Amanda wanted to read this one because we both want to watch the movie. Mm-hmm. She's seen it now. I still haven't. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to wait until if it starts streaming somewhere to get that. I'm not a huge fan of going to the movies. It's just... I'd rather be able to pause it and get my own snacks for free. Yeah, so we still wanted to read that one together and be able to discuss it. I did originally read this, and this was my second read through. I did originally read this, I think, a couple of years ago. So I mean, I'm in the exact same place as I was then. Pretty sure even the same job, because it was on Audible, and I didn't start Audible until I started this job. Married to my husband, a very wonderful man. But something about this read through hit different. And
really?
I don't know if I'm getting more soft-hearted again. I don't know if it's one of those phases where, not as soft-hearted. Oh, suddenly I'm soft-hearted again. Oh, not so soft-hearted. Oh, suddenly I'm soft-hearted again. I don't know if it's one of those things or what, but it hit different. It hit different. And I gave it a 3 stars, I'm pretty sure. But I do want to touch on a few things because I feel like there's been a lot of hate toward the movie. And I just want to assure people that it is discussed at the end of the book. Colleen Hoover writes an extra note for the reader about her own experience with her dad being an abusive husband to her mom and how her mom got out of it. Mm-hmm. And she makes it clear that she wanted people to know it's not always cut and dry, this is happening and it's easy to see. No, sometimes it's, one of the scenes he burns his hand and pushes her away, and she ends up like hitting her cheek. I don't know if you've read it.
Yeah, I've read it.
Okay. She ends up hitting her cheek on the door handle, and it gives her that bruise. And that it was almost easy for her to put that off as in the moment.
Yeah, he was just reactive. He wasn't thinking.
And then being so close to the stairs the second time, that it's showing the very fine line between what's an accident and what's on purpose. And what me and Amanda discussed whenever we talked about it was, sometimes it's... it didn't bother me, the first one, when her eye got bruised from the reaction of him having his hand. That didn't bother me. What bothered me was the next night when they went out with his sister and brother-in-law. He lied about it.
Yeah.
Because how is that something to lie about?
Red flag.
Yeah. Immediately. How is that something to lie about if it really was just an accident?
Yeah, if you were truly remorseful and didn't mean anything by it, you'd probably be like, oh my God, I burnt my hand and ran into her. Yes. And I am so sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's what happened. You would just tell.
Yes. And so...
But that is a fine line because you can't be like, well, since he tried to hide it, he clearly did it on purpose. Like, you don't know that.
No.
He might have just been like, maybe she doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways to make excuses for a guy.
Exactly. So I'm not saying that anybody who's ever, had to lie about something.
Or a girl. I say guy. It could be anybody.
Yeah. And that's another thing that she addresses in that author's note is it comes in all different shapes and sizes, domestic abuse. So the point is to find somebody to talk to about it, because sometimes just airing it out will give you perspective.
Yeah.
Just talk, and that's what matters. So no, I gave this 4 stars. I did.
I gotta say it's a 3 for me.
It's a 3.
When I read it,
I think it's because this time hit different. Yeah. I think that might have been it.
Give it a little extra.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Ryle was not a bad guy.
No. And that's the whole point. She
Yeah.
talked about in the author's note how many times, like, after each time, she just wanted to back it up and rewrite that story.
Who went 27 doors or 27
29 doors.
29 doors. Who did that? It wasn't Atlas.
No. No.
I mean, like, and in the book, he had some trauma as a child.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
was not a bad guy. And here I am making excuses for abusers.
That's the thing. But at the same time, he knew that about himself.
Yeah. He didn't want a relationship.
He didn't want a
Yeah.
relationship. I think he should have gone to therapy well before he actually did.
Therapy.
Yeah.
Everybody needs therapy. Come
Yes.
on now.
Again, just talking to somebody, it can help air out some things, even if it's...
I need therapy.
I probably need it too. I've never been, but I probably need it.
I need therapy.
I know I'm
I just
bottling
make
things
Aaron
up.
be my soundboard.
I just keep putting it off.
Everybody.
You know how it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know how it is.
Everybody needs therapy.
Yes.
but-
Even if you say you don't need therapy, just
Yeah.
do it. Just do it. I'm talking to myself in the future.
Yeah.
Hannah, as you're editing this is your reminder.
Aaron,
to
all
go
the
to
most
therapy.
chilled out person I've ever met in my life, probably needs therapy.
Right, because everybody bottles something up.
Yeah.
Everybody bottles something up. So this is available for $11.99 on Kindle, which is the cheapest option besides Libby, of course. And she's got It Starts With Us. Amanda said she started it, got like 4 pages in, and she was like, she is whiny. I can't do it.
It's the only book I've ever rated a 1 star.
Really?
It should have just ended.
Well, it should have ended with that one. So I don't even know if I'm going to try it based off of that.
Yeah.
So
You've not read that one?
no,
Oh,
no.
yeah, I'm with
Our,
you. I was already a 3 on the first book.
Yeah.
By
It
the
shoulda
next one, I
just-
was like, okay, we've romanticized quite a few issues
Yeah.
amongst these. The first one, I could see why you were
On
kind
the
of a
fence.
PSA, both sides of the story.
Right.
And then the second one, you're like, girl, just go talk to your therapist for a second.
Right.
The fact that I
Right.
was, we used to go to Key West every year on our anniversary, and then we had a baby. And so that's no longer happening. But, so I was down in Key West. All there is to do during the daytime is sit by the pool. Because Key West is definitely a nightlife place.
Mm-hmm.
It still took me all of the trip to finish It Starts With Us.
Yeah, that says a lot.
I wasted a trip, a beach read on.
Hate to see it. Hate to see it.
Hopefully,
So-
I don't ever do that again.
I probably won't try it anytime soon.
Yeah, don't.
If ever.
I mean, hey, I'm not going to yuck someone's yum. Okay?
Right. But there
But yuck.
life's too short to dance with ugly women.
Wise words.
Yeah,
Rusty Smith.
this was before I started DNFing. So
I
I
gotcha.
finished it, and I'm like, oh my god.
I gotcha.
I finished it in more of a, okay, I gotta know. Can you fix it? Does this get better?
I gotcha.
Just pure curiosity.
Yeah.
All right, Ellie, I do believe you are next.
Okay. I read The Last House on Needless Street by Catriona Ward. It is a horror novel.
Not me.
Nice.
It's not so much scary. Again,
She's lying.
I guess it could be scary to some people. It's gory, and it trigger warning on this one. It talks of child abuse and torture.
Oof.
Oh, yeah, I'm 100% out. It doesn't even
Yeah.
have to be labeled horror for me to be out on that.
Yeah, it's in a boarded up house on a dead end street at the edge of the wild Washington woods lives a family of 3. A young girl who isn't allowed outside, not after last time. A man who drinks alone in front of his TV, trying to ignore the gaps in his memory. And a house cat who loves napping and reading the Bible. An unspeakable secret binds them together, but when a new neighbor moves in next door, what is buried out among the birch trees may come back to haunt them all. I rated this a 3 out of 5. Again, it was good. I may recommend it, but
Did it make you feel icky? I know you said that some horror books do that to you.
didn't necessarily make me feel icky. Not like Brother. Definitely not like Brother. But one thing I will say, you think one thing the whole book, and then about 60% of the way through, you start questioning everything. And then about 90% of the way through, things start coming to light.
Gotcha.
The plot twist is interesting. It's not like a slap you in the face plot twist,
Right.
but it is interesting. They are talking. I've seen articles. They're turning this into a movie. I don't know how they would turn this into a movie.
Gotcha.
What this book goes on to be, I don't know how it would happen. So
Gotcha.
I am interested to watch the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to see
how they do it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I get that.
Yeah, there is talks of it's still child abuse, but he's like 12 or 13 when it happens. So
Yeah, I don't like that.
yeah. So that's all I really have to say about it. I mean, again, it's a 3 out of 5. It's not bad,
Right.
but I mean, I just don't really have anything to say about it.
Right. Didn't really stick with you very
No.
much. I gotcha.
But I mean, if you're wanting a spooky book and you're not really into spooky stuff, it's pretty good. It's
might
got
be
a
it.
mystery thriller vibe to it, but I think the reason it is on the horror shelf is because of the talks of child abuse and
Yeah.
torture.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Next.
all right. Casey?
Well, I'm going to start off. I meant to do this at the very beginning, but since you mentioned Amanda,
Yes.
I was going to say she was just a day late and $1 short. Victoria had already sent me the link for Kindle Unlimited. So I have Kindle Unlimited for the next 3 months right now. I've actually already read, I think, 2 books off of it.
Yes.
So I have the whole Harry Potter set now.
Come on.
It's on Kindle Unlimited. All of them. All 7 books are Kindle Unlimited.
Oh.
Ali,
So if you're in the spooky season.
Excuse.
Well, my
Yeah.
sister has the box set.
I don't care. You have no excuse. I don't care how you do it. You have no excuse left. Neither of you do.
No, I
You
put them on my shelf.
understand?
They're all on my shelf now. This is upside down. I have all 7 Harry Potter books on here.
We're going to have a Harry Potter episode.
Harry Potter episode, I kind of do want to read for fall.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know this is fall, right?
Ooh, it's so fall. It is. Ooh, it's fall.
You know
Fall
we're-
hasn't hit where we live yet, though.
That is
September
true.
21st is the first day of fall. It's fall.
It
I
is
thought-
fall, but it just, the weather has not hit.
That's right.
Well, if
That's
you're
right.
waiting on the weather here to hit fall weather, it could be March. Who
It'll
knows?
That
be
is
winter
true.
before it's fall.
That is
Yeah.
true. Gotta love this area.
Yeah.
All right. So,
All right. So my next read, I finished this on September 13th.
nice. Nice.
Yes.
Allie's birthday.
I saw quite a bit of September 13th in there.
Oh, yeah. I finished 3 for you.
Yeah.
It was all for you. I read Apprentice to the Villain.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my God. 5 stars. Love it.
Without a doubt.
I did the audiobook from Libby because literally I had it set to notify me when it came on. And I was like the second person to get a copy of the book.
That's amazing.
So-
That's
And I went ahead and borrowed it physical, digital read and audio read.
just in case.
And then
Yes.
just returned it.
Yes. Yes.
But here's the synopsis.
Yes.
We'll just remove this if we don't like it. Notice to staff, there has been a disturbing increase in cheeriness, sprightly behavior, and overall optimism as of late. Please resume your former dark, ominous terrors at your earliest convenience. Management. Evie Sage has never been happier to be the assistant to the villain. Who would have thought that working for an outrageously handsome, bad for his brand, evil overlord would be rewarding? Still, the business of being bad is demanding. The forces of good are annoyingly persistent, and said forbidding boss is somewhat out of evil office. But Renadon is in grave trouble, and all signs, Kingsley's included, point to catastrophe. Something peculiar is happening with the kingdom's magic, and it's made the villain's manor vulnerable to their enemies, including their nemesis, the king. Now it's time for Evie to face their greatest challenge, protecting the villain's lair, all of his nefarious works, and maybe, provided no one finds out, the entire kingdom. No pressure, Evie. It's time to step out of her comfort zone and learn new skills like treason, dagger work, conspiring with the enemy. It's also so delightfully fun. But what happens when the assistant to the villain is ready to become his apprentice?
Oh.
And that's all I'm going to say about Apprentice to the Villain.
Yes, because
we're going to talk about it next week.
Yes.
But
since I'm going to go ahead and warn the people, we are all over the place.
Yes.
Next episode.
yeah.
We have no planning before. We just have
excitement.
Yeah. We have learned our lesson.
Yes. Next one will be better.
Yes. Next one will be better. We're still learning.
But this one's going to be good just because it's Apprentice to the Villain.
Yes.
You won't be able to keep up with anything,
No.
but yeah.
Right. I highly suggest reading Assistant to the Villain, Apprentice to the Villain, and then listening along, especially if you were super hyped. Just imagine you're in the hype house. Here we are. We're going off about it. I mean, amazing.
Oh my
We
gosh.
had no plan.
None.
We
No.
I don't
skipped
care.
around.
I love that book
We
so
all
much.
have mild ADHD, and
Yes.
you can tell.
Yes.
Next club book, we'll get more scripted a little bit just to keep
Yes.
us on track.
Next episode, you're going to be like, oh my God, get these girls some Adderall. The next book club book, you're going to be like, what the heck?
Yes. But
So-
we're going to fix it for the next one.
Yeah, we're going
and,
to fix it. We promise.
and hopefully you're just as excited about this as we
Yes.
are because, oh gosh. But
But that's all we're going to say. That's all we're going to say.
So, tune in
Hannah, it
next
is on to
week.
you.
So I finished 3 books on your birthday
Yes.
because I knew you wouldn't be able to read, go into the mountains. And so
Oh, I forced Aaron to. It's my birthday.
I was looking out for you. So one of the ones that I finished, this is the second Heirs of Cornwall book. And I started it right after finishing The Promise, The Wrong Prince. And it took me almost a week and a half to finish. It was a slow goer. So this one is Layne Carlisle, only son and heir of Viscount Carlisle, which is Layne is Cassandra's brother in this book, from the first book. He is in a snit. All of his friends are happily married, and his mother wishes the same for him. But Layne is in no hurry. He is wealthy, handsome, and free. Why would he want to get leg shackled when women buzz around him like bees? Lady Alexandra Davenport, only daughter of the Earl of Weston, is likewise thinking along the same thoughts. She has been cleverly avoiding the matrimonial noose, but now that her 25th birthday has come around, her father finally put his foot down. But Alexandra is in no hurry. She is beautiful, wealthy, and free. Why would she want to marry some wretched man who would take her money when she could have more fun with clandestine coquetry?
Coquetry? Yeah.
Unbeknownst to our hero. You see what I mean?
Yes.
You see what I
Yes,
mean?
I see it.
It's the same thing with the second book with the big words that I just kind of glaze over. Unbeknownst to our hero and heroine, their parents have been scheming. What will happen when these two stubborn personalities collide? Will they chase each other with a hatchet, or will the sparks fly?
This is quite literally Bridgerton. This is season 1 Bridgerton, season 2 Bridgerton, almost to a T, because it's literally a Viscount
Well,
in
there we
season
go.
2.
Putting that one in the back of my mind.
Love.
Me too. And that is what these books are all about. A little bit of risque mixed in there with it, and it's perfect. So, well, it's 3 stars, but because it's
Perfect.
It's,
Well, it's 3 stars.
It's basically the same notes as The Promise. That the punctuation is a problem. I glaze over all those big words. This one I probably won't do another read through. Yeah, probably won't. Just because it was longer than the first one. I wasn't as engaged in the story, so it's cute. It's cute, but at some point the miscommunication is just like, stop. It was rebranded and renamed to The Viscount's Heir, and it's available on Kindle Unlimited as well. But unlike the first one, it's not included in the Audible basic membership. So, but it is on Kindle Unlimited. It was 3 stars. It was fine, but
I'm interested. I want you to read the Bridgerton.
Yes.
To see if you like it better.
Yes, I probably will.
Yeah.
The next one I finished that day was through Audible. It was The Manor House by Gilly MacMillan. I loved that one. Talk about, it was a Clue type book. Who done it? Mystery thriller. Yeah. Okay. So
my husband is obsessed with Clue and all the movies and the board games.
He would love this book.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it goes into
everyone in my family has killed someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it goes into like everybody's got their own subplot. Everybody's got their own hidden agendas. And and by the end of it, it hits you with so many revelations at the end that you're like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh. Yeah. Back to back. It's crazy. But okay, so here's the synopsis. The terrifying story of what can happen after all your dreams come true. Be careful what you wish for. Childhood sweethearts Nicole and Tom are a normal, loving couple until a massive lottery win changes their lives overnight. Soon, they've moved into a custom-built, state-of-the-art glass barn on the stunning grounds of Layne Manor in Gloucestershire. It's somewhere in Europe. Sorry. They have fancy cars, expensive hobbies, and an exclusive lifestyle they never could have imagined. But this dream world quickly turns into a nightmare when Tom is found dead in the swimming pool. Nicole is devastated. Tom is her rock, and their beautiful barn, with all its smart features that never seem to work for her, is beginning to feel very lonely. But she's not entirely by herself out there in the country. There's a nice young couple who live in the manor itself, along with their middle-aged housekeeper who had the coach house. And an old friend of Tom's from school has turned up to help her get through her grief. But big money can bring big problems and big threats. Was Tom's death a tragic accident, or was it something worse? And is her life in danger as well? Nicole's beginning to feel like a little fish in a big glass fishbowl, surrounded by piranhas. Amazing. I loved this one. Like I said, the end shook me on so many different levels because all these people have their own story with them. Even the couple, the people in the couple, they each have their own takes as well. It's crazy. It was a little bit hard to keep up with at the beginning, but after like the first couple chapters of it doing the switch, it's got like, trying to think, 6 viewpoints.
Oh gosh.
7 viewpoints.
That's a lot.
Because it includes the cops that are on this mission as well. It is amazing. It's so good. But yes, I'm sure I missed something in the first read, but I would gladly go back and reread this. I gave it 4 stars.
Have you read The Guest List by Lucy Foley?
I have not. Do I need to add that to the list?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a good one.
So it is a classic whodunit, and but on a side note, Tom and Nicole's relationship is literal goals. Like the way, so it goes every now and then, it'll go back in time and go over the day of Tom's death, and it walks you through Tom's point of view of that day. And the way that he talks about Nicole, like at one point,
wait, and he's the one who died?
Yeah, he's the one who died.
Well, that's not good.
It's not good. You know,
almost
in
wish
that
they had a
sense.
bad relationship.
No, it was so sweet. It actually reminded me a lot of Matthew, like how I hope Matthew sees me. If that makes sense.
I know that Aaron, at the end of the day, like whenever he's at work, I know he's just like, oh my God, my wife's calling again.
No, I'm positive he's not like that. He loves you.
He better.
That's
I didn't say he didn't love me. I just said he thought I was annoying.
Both things can be true.
They're not mutually exclusive. I'm sure Matthew thinks that about me as well. But yeah, the way he talks about her, like at one point he's talking to somebody and he's just like, I don't care about any of this stuff around us, just as long as she's there. I just want my wife. Like he's starting to.
Oh yeah, Aaron definitely isn't like that.
His head's hurting a little bit, and like it makes me think of Matthew whenever he's sick or not feeling well, and all he's not a touchy-feely person, which we've talked about, he's not a touchy-feely person, but whenever he's sick, it's just like come cuddle me. Like, can you get me a rat? I love you. Can you help me? Like, it's just so sweet, and I love it that I'm here for it.
You're almost like purposely bringing germs home just to get them sick.
Anytime I'm sick, I'm like, kiss me, baby. So yeah, I find you a Tom. Find you a Matthew. So the cheapest option to buy is Kindle for $12.99. It is not currently available on our local Libby.
Okay.
Yeah. So
it's on here
if you're local.
Oh, cool.
It's got the audiobook and the digital copy
on the big cities Libby. Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
you were able to borrow it immediately.
Nice.
The digital copy, you have to place a hold for the audiobook.
So either way, that's an option if you don't want to buy it or use an Audible credit. I used an Audible credit. It was worth it. I think so.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then the third one that I read on September, I read this start to finish on September 13th.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes.
Woo.
So, and it was,
and I don't know if you've noticed every time y'all have said September 13th, I'm celebrating. It's a running bit.
It's your birthday.
Whoop, whoop.
So this one was Never Lie by Freida McFadden. This one we've talked about. You DNF'd it.
Yep, I DNF'd.
Which is perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine to DNF things if it's too much for you. Yeah.
Don't stay up all night like I've done in the past because you were too prideful to stop a book.
Yeah, don't do that to yourself. Take care of yourself, babies. We love you. Okay, so the synopsis is newlyweds Trisha and Ethan are searching for the house of their dreams. But when they visit the remote manor that once belonged to Dr. Adrian Hale, a renowned psychiatrist who vanished without a trace 4 years earlier, a violent winter storm traps them at the estate, with no chance of escape until the blizzard comes to an end. In search of a book to keep her entertained until the snow abates, Trisha happens upon a secret room, one that contains audio transcripts from every single patient Dr. Hale has ever interviewed. As Trisha listens to the cassette tapes, she learns about the terrifying chain of events leading up to Dr. Hale's mysterious disappearance. Trisha plays the tapes one by one, late into the night. With each one, another shocking piece of the puzzle falls into place, and Dr. Adrian Hale's web of lies slowly unravels. And then Trisha reaches the final cassette, the one that reveals the entire horrifying truth. So this one was actually suggested by Amanda. Thank you. Although I'm sure I'd heard you guys talk about this before.
Yeah.
I actually have a saved video of me talking about it.
Okay. So yeah, I probably heard you talk about it. I was so sure that I had the twist figured out. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and I even made the comment to Matthew. I was like, if I've got this figured out already, it's going to be kind of disappointing because I'm not a detective when it comes to books.
Yeah.
I don't read it to try to guess what's going to happen. I don't do that. It just seemed so obvious to me that I was like, if this is actually what's happening, it's going to be kind of disappointing, you know, because where's the thrill in that? Turns out I did not know what was happening. So I was pleasantly surprised, but at the same time, at that point, I'd gotten myself convinced. It was like 60% of the way through. I was convinced about, yes, this is what's happening. So it really rocked me when that was not the case. So yeah, this one is available on Kindle Unlimited and our local Libby. I gave it 4 stars. So
nice.
For anybody who this isn't an issue for.
Yes. The parts that I read were good. It was good writing. Clearly, I was drawn in, and then I had to just leap out the window.
It just got to a point that wasn't for you, which is totally fine. It is totally fine. It was a good book. So this one broke me in a way.
Oh, yeah.
A book hasn't broke me in a very long time.
What's it called again?
If He Had Been With Me.
What kind of like genre is that?
It's just a
I think it's even young adult.
Young adult, yeah.
Is it like a love story?
It's a love story, yeah.
Oh, and it broke you?
Oh gosh,
it's bad.
it broke me.
It sucks.
I as soon as
this is the book that she Snapchatted us crying over.
Yes. So it's If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. It is the first one of a series. Like she's got a second one.
Read the second book.
I can't. For my own emotional well-being, I cannot read the second one. Because this one was in the girl's point of view. And you know the guy's point of view always hits differently.
Yeah. Well, you
wouldn't
can
be
go
able to
ahead
do
and
it.
spoil it because it's in the it's literally
Yes.
in the title.
The very first chapter is.
His
It might
point of
even be
view.
the preface.
Yeah.
Is he dies?
Yeah.
This guy dies.
No.
And so you go into it knowing what's going to happen, and you still get attached to these characters, and they still rip your heart out at the end when turns out, yes, that did actually happen. You know, what she told us would happen actually happened. I immediately, as soon as
very,
I
very
finished
sad.
it, I was crying for the last like 4 chapters, and I immediately Snapchatted you guys afterwards. And I had to put a note in there to be like, it's about a book. You're allowed to make fun of me, because I couldn't get anything out for the first like 30 seconds. And it occurred to me that they're going to think something's like really bad wrong.
Literally.
It's actually just a book, you know? And gosh, yeah, I was messed up. As soon as I finished Snapchatting you guys, Matthew called because he was out of town, and he called, and I was still sniffling and stuff, and he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, it was a book." And he was like, "Do you need to call me back?" And I was like, "No, I'm finishing up. Let me dry up."
I'll call you right back. Hold on.
So this one is, if he had been with me, everything would have been different. I wasn't with Finn on that August night, but I should have been. It was raining, of course, and he and Sylvia were arguing as he drove down the slick road. No one ever says what they were arguing. No one ever says what they were arguing about. Other people think it's not important. They don't know there's another story, the story that lurks between the facts. What they do not know, the cause of the argument, is crucial. So let me tell you. My heart was cut out of my chest and served on a silver platter.
Stomped
and
on.
I said thank you. And I said, I'm full. Don't give me dessert with this other book. Please don't.
I would not like a second portion.
No, one is enough. Thank you very much. I'll never be able to read the second book, which is sad, because I love getting the male's point of view on love stories. I love it. I gave this one 3 stars because I will never be able to read it again, ever. So
She'll cry.
Did
you say it was a book 1 of 2?
Yes, it's the same story, just from his perspective. The second
Yeah,
one.
no, I don't know if I could do that twice.
No.
I just added it to my Kindle is what was happening
Oh,
right there,
honey.
because you sold me immediately.
Honey,
Good luck.
I
Good
apparently
luck.
need to cry.
I pray for you.
I needed a good cry, so it really worked out. I felt a lot better afterwards, but man,
I
that's
read
tough
somewhere
at the time.
crying releases oxytocin.
Yes,
So
yes. So if
you need it every now and then.
if you're bottled up like I was and need a good cry, read it. It's a good story, and you will cry your heart out. But it does. This is one that has some pretty severe trigger warnings, especially at the end. So this one is available on Kindle Unlimited, and it is included in the basic Audible membership as well for free. So also available on our local Libby.
I listened to it.
Did you?
Yeah.
How was the
Maybe I should
narrator?
do that.
It's good. Yeah, I didn't have any. It was one of the first audiobooks that I had ever listened to.
Nice.
I don't really recall anything to say negative about it. So.
Good. All right, I reckon it's your turn with your next one.
My turn?
Yep.
Okay, so I do want to put in here that I did not finish, and this one is going to be controversial.
Oh goodness.
The Inheritance Games. Who is that by?
I haven't tried that yet.
By Jennifer Lynn Barnes. It says, Avery Grams has a plan for a better future, survive high school, win a scholarship, and get out. But her fortunes change in an instant when billionaire Tobias Hawthorne dies and leaves Avery virtually his entire fortune. The catch? Avery has no idea why or even who Tobias Hawthorne is. To receive her inheritance, Avery must move into sprawling, secret passage-filled Hawthorne House, where every room bears the old man's touch and his love of puzzles, riddles, and codes. Unfortunately for Avery, Hawthorne House is also occupied by the family that Tobias Hawthorne just dispossessed. This includes the 4 Hawthorne grandsons, dangerous, magnetic, brilliant boys who grew up with every expectation that one day they would inherit billions. Heir apparent Grayson Hawthorne is convinced that Avery must be a con woman, and he's determined to take her down. His brother Jameson views her as their grandfather's last hurrah, a twisted riddle, a puzzle to be solved. Caught in a world of wealth and privilege, with danger around every turn, Avery will have to play the game herself just to survive.
Sounds like a twist on Knives Out.
Yeah, I got about 25% of the way through, and it just... Whenever I'm going 3-4 chapters without paying attention...
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It just wasn't for me. I've heard really good things about it. It just wasn't for me.
I gotcha.
So.
I gotcha.
So I finished Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I finished this on the 15th. A paranormal romance novel about a marriage of convenience between a vampire and a werewolf to uphold a historic peacekeeping alliance. The story is set in a world where vampires and werewolves are real and the two groups are not fond of each other. I rated this a 3 out of 5. And I wrote down, oh, look, another fantasy novel where the mom is dead and the dad is a piece of crap.
It's a good note.
Some of our favorite books are always like that.
No, the dad's a piece of crap. The dad is a piece of crap.
Gotcha.
I rated it 3 out of 5. I do like how it is not written like a typical fantasy novel where it kind of feels like you're back in time. Okay. It's written like Ali Hazelwood is the one who writes Love Theoretically.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's written a lot like a rom-com, just
I
with
love.
werewolves and vampires. So I rated it a 3 out of 5. If you like that type of stuff, give it a listen. Give it a read.
Good to know.
I listened to it. So.
Good to know. All right, so the next one that I read was Young Rich Widows by Kimberly, Belle, Layne, Fargo, Cate, Holahan, and Vanessa, Lillie. It's the Widows Book 1. I read it all in one day. It was a quick read. I read it on Audible, so, that was that was a long travel day. So I read it all in the one day.
Yeah.
So this one is when the 4 partners of a prominent law firm are killed in a mysterious plane crash, their widows must come together to uncover the truth in this explosive, edge-of-your-seat novel. It's 1985 in Providence, Rhode Island, and the 4 partners of a prominent mafia-affiliated law firm have been killed in a private jet that went down outside New York City. 4 very different women have just lost the loves of their lives. Justine, a former fashion model adjusting to suburban life. Camille, a beautiful young second wife some suspect is a gold digger. Crystal, committed to leaving the firm to her sons after her husband worked his whole life to support them all. And Meredith, a stripper at the local club who was in a secret relationship with the firm's sole female partner. While the crash is initially ruled a tragic accident, something's not adding up. The team wasn't supposed to be in New York that day, and it's soon revealed that there was a very large sum of cash that burned up with the plane. The women found themselves thrown together in search of the truth, with new danger and threats unfolding at every turn. Could a dissatisfied client be seeking revenge, or were the partners involved in something bigger, something dangerous and deadly? What other secrets were the partners keeping, and how far might people go to ensure they stay hidden? The widows must find the answers in order to protect their inheritance, their families, and their lives. This book gave me Steel Magnolia vibes.
Ooh, I love Steel Magnolias.
Yes. So if you're a fan of Steel Magnolias, I really think that you would enjoy this book.
What's it called?
Young Rich Widows.
Young Rich Widows.
Yes. And it was... Wow. That I actually really enjoyed this one. It had 4 different narrators, or at least the narrator was doing 4 different voices. And this is the one that I talked about recently, where the one woman had a very Fran from the Nanny sound to it. And starting out, I was like, oh god, this is gonna be rough. She ended up being my favorite character.
Oh,
it was
stripper?
No, it was Crystal.
Dang. I think the stripper would be my favorite.
The stripper's a little... She was one of the characters for me, but Crystal, loved her. She was so snarky. She was the... most well-endowed woman of all of them. And
Well-endowed? Oh, okay. I thought you meant like wealthy.
I mean, they're all wealthy because of the, but she's very well endowed.
I was making sure that you didn't say the wrong word.
I appreciate that. You sound like you were going to make fun of me for it, but it's not a Hannah Rose session.
I don't want to be alone.
So what I really liked was that these women were very strong female characters that stayed in their femininity. I love that. We love to see feminine women.
Yes.
And they were sexy and they knew it, and they were getting dressed to go to this risque party. And of course, Crystal being the, most blessed of them all. She was like and they all used all of their feminine wiles to their advantage around every turn. I love it. My grandmother used to tell my dad and his brothers that girls were sneaky mean. This validated that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, because they knew how to work a room because just using their femininity. Yeah. I love it. Give me more female characters like that. I love it. The fact that it was set in 1985 was such a good choice because I could see the shoulder pads, I could see the fluffy hair, I could see it all. They at one point they were driving away in this armored vehicle, and I'm trying to think of what song they had some song playing on the radio, and I was like, of course it would have been popular in that day. And it was perfect for usually I hate when books assign a song to a scene or whatever. I usually hate that because I've got we talked about echolalia, and so I make my own soundtrack. Don't tell me what I should be thinking of. I will find something to think of, okay? But this one was absolutely perfect during that scene. I was like, you go, girls. You go. Get it. Let's see. We learn very early on in the book, so I don't feel like this is a spoiler, that one of the women is sleeping with another woman's husband.
Oh.
And
messy.
Yes. And because she knew, obviously they knew each other, the woman who was getting cheated on also knew. Yes. But because they never had to interact much before this situation where they're trying to figure out what happened to their husbands, the woman who the guy was cheating on, she was able to kind of push that to the back of her mind and be like, well, listen to the things that he said about his wife and be like, well, she's not that special. It doesn't matter. She's not that special and he needs somebody special. I'm going to be that for him. But once she gets to know the other woman, she's like, she realizes how problematic she was.
Yeah, I hate that.
When she was forced to face the person who was affected by her actions, it really put it into perspective for her, and she was genuinely sorry about it, and they ended up developing a really good friendship through it, especially because the other woman knew. And I think it's a good example of like, it's easy to think that your decisions don't affect anybody when you're not seeing how it's hurting others. But the second you see it hurting, like, the sign of a good person is to stop what you're doing. We all tend to have something in our lives that we we're a little bit selfish on, and we don't think about how it affects other people, but if it's something that's genuinely hurting others like that, if you see it, if it comes to light and you don't do anything about it, that's the sign of a bad person, because we all do bad things. It's the changing the behavior that defines, I think, whether we're good people or not. And she ended up being a good person. So, yes, I gave it 4 stars. It is available on Kindle for $7.99, but it's not available in the local Libby. So, you kind of got to make choices there. But I would recommend it. I would say, yeah. I haven't. There is a second one. I can't remember what it's called, but I haven't tried that one yet. So, Oh my gosh, is this still me?
Yeah.
What the heck is wrong with me? I'm so sorry. All right, so the next one was I started it that same day and then finished it the next day, so on September 17th. It's I'd Like to Play Alone, Please by Tom Segura.
I saw that. I thought that was cute.
Yes. I was genuinely surprised. I mean, anybody who knows Tom Segura, if you've seen any of his comedy, any of his podcasts, anything like that, like, he's just a genuinely funny dude. He's so funny. But he is the one that read this book as well. So to hear him read this stuff,
I love when authors do that.
I love it so. And he was perfect for it.
Tom Segura is just funny. He's just a funny guy.
He is.
And he is so, like, not problematic. I haven't seen one thing.
No.
My favorite comedian is Bert Kreischer.
And
Bert Kreischer says some problematic stuff. But whenever him and Tom are together, I mean, I cry laughing. I love Tom Segura. I want to see him in person.
Oh, he was amazing
I've seen
in
Bert
person.
in person.
Tom Segura is amazing in person. Anybody who has the chance to go see him, I highly recommend. It's real life stories of parenting, celebrity encounters, youthful mistakes, misanthropy, and so much more. Tom Segura is known for his twisted takes and irreverent comedic voice. But after a few years of crazy tours and churning out podcasts weekly, all while parenting 2 young children, he desperately needs a second to himself. It's not that he hates his friends and family. He's not a monster. He's just beat, which is why his son's ruthless first sentence, "I'd like to play alone, please," has since become his mantra. In this collection of stories, Tom combines his signature curmudgeonly humor.
Yeah, I've been looking up my vocabulary. I've been hitting the little speaker whenever I will look up words now on Google.
Girl.
You all aren't doing this to me again. Ha ha! Hannah pronounced a word wrong. Ha ha ha!
That's really immature of you.
What's funny is that isn't going to come out till next week. So everybody's going to be like,
what is she talking about?
Why is she so rude?
Why is she so bitter? Come join us next week and you'll see why I'm leaving it in.
She's over exaggerating.
So the stories feature hilarious anecdotes about Tom's time on the road, including some surreal encounters with celebrities at airports, his unfiltered South American family, the trials and tribulations of parenting young children with bizarrely morbid interests, and perhaps most memorably, experiences with his dad, who, like any good baby boomer father, loves to talk about his bowel movements and share graphic Vietnam stories at inappropriate moments. All of this is enough to make anyone want some peace and quiet. I'd Like to Play Alone, Please will have readers laughing out loud, yes, and nodding in agreement with Segura's in a world where everyone is increasingly insane. Sometimes you just need to be alone. It's so good. Matthew used one of my Audible credits back in the day to get this book, and I mean, obviously, I didn't mind, but I just hadn't gotten around to reading it yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's a short one. I got time, and oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I did it. I don't know if I'm going to leave this in or not, but I have never been so close to just calling my boss and being like, hey, I'm done. He's so unexpectedly inspirational because I don't know how to explain it, but at one point he was like, if you're not doing what you love to do, then why are you doing it? And I was just like, you know what? You're right.
He's got wait. He's got a point here.
Let him cook. If he would have gone any longer in that section, it would have been a really tough time to be able to, because I was on my big overnight trip at this time for my job, and dead center of it, the second day, and I was like, why am I doing this? I'm going to stay in a hotel again tonight. Why am I doing this?
That's it. I quit. I'm going home.
I'm going home. So, yeah, he's surprisingly inspirational.
Yeah.
So,
like I said, I love Tom Segura. I think he has very valid points. Not to get too political, but like a lot of like moral stuff that he talks about, he puts it in such a metaphorical way that you're like, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that.
That's a good way of looking at it, Tom. Way to go. and this book is just filled with even more of that. It's fantastic. Fair warning, though, he does cuss a lot. So anybody who has sensitive ears, you are warned.
Or children in the car.
You are warned. Be careful with that one. But it's so funny.
So I need to listen to it now.
Yes.
Before she starts talking.
Yes. So with him being the narrator of this book, I've already said that was a fantastic choice. But at one point toward the end, he's telling a story. I can't even remember which story it was, but he's telling a story. And he ends up laughing like in the recording. And I was like, that was such a good choice to leave that in. Like he mid-sentence, he's laughing and like having to stop himself. And
I'm glad my mom died on the opposite end of the spectrum. On I'm glad my mom died by Jeanette McCurdy. You can hear her because she's the narrator. Right. You can hear her go. And then like you can tell that she's choked up while she's talking. Yeah. And I'm like, that's
a good production choice.
Yes.
And on that side and on the comedic side. Yeah. It's a fantastic production choice. So that's awesome. I gave it 4 stars, and anybody who doesn't mind a bit of cussing, I highly recommend it. It is on Kindle Unlimited. Also, it comes with a PDF, or the Audible came with a PDF. It might come at the back of the book for like Kindle and stuff, but he's got pictures. Of the famous celebrities and stuff that he's met. Yeah. He's gotten pictures with them, and he includes that at the end of the book, or the PDF, whichever version you have. Yeah. It's awesome. It is so cool. So yeah, it is available on Libby from our local library as well. So
for Audible, whenever he's talking about his children, does he do the talk like this?
He does do voices for everybody.
That is my favorite voice for his little boy. Whenever he's like, I put it in a toilet.
Yeah. And he does his mom's voice like he does in his specials and stuff. Yeah.
I love that.
It's great.
So, in my opinion, listen to it.
Yes, for sure. If you don't mind a little bit of cussing, do it. It is hilarious, and you will want to quit your job. All right, so my last one for this stretch was on September 18th. I read it September 17th, September 18th on Audible. It's Ruthless Rival by L.J. Shin. It's Cruel Castaways Book 1, but it's basically all standalones. You know how those romance books go. They're standalones.
Kind of like Dreamland Billionaires, where you don't
read them individually.
Or Twisted.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So this one is when she was young, Arya Roth became best friends with her housekeeper's son. Soon, friendship turned to young love, and when Arya dared him to kiss her, a chain reaction of disastrous events led to the boy being sent away and out of Arya's life. Now, 2 decades later, Arya is an on-the-rise publicist with her beloved father as one of her biggest clients. So when her father is sued by a former employee, Arya sets out to prove that her father is not the monster he is accused of being. The only problem is the attorney who is determined to destroy her father's good name. Christian Miller is charming, ambitious, and devilishly good-looking, and Arya has no idea he is the same boy who kissed her all those years ago. Past and present collide as Arya falls hard for Christian, but when she finds out who he really is and about his obsession with getting revenge on her father, can she choose love over family? This one was decent. I gave it 3 stars. I probably won't reread it, but it was good.
Not memorable. Just a read.
Yeah. It was fun. I actually picked up this one.
It's a great description for 3 stars. Not memorable, just a read.
Yes. I actually picked this one up because it was one of my... That's my work mom from the factory. I still call her my work mom because, I don't have any close employees, like fellow employees from my new job.
Yeah.
And so she's still my work mom, and this is her favorite author.
Oh, okay.
So I read this one in honor of her. Vicky, if you are listening, it was good. It was. I just probably won't read it again. That's all. So, if you haven't read this one, you should. But being an LJ Shin fan, but yeah, nothing really for me. It is available on Kindle Unlimited. It's not in our local libraries Libby. So,
okay,
yeah. All right, Ellie, your go.
Okay. I read The Magnificent Lives of Marjorie Post.
Yeah, you did.
By Alison Pataki.
I saw that, and I was like, thank God. Thank God. What did you think? You probably didn't like it as much as I did.
I did rate it a 3 out of 5. It was a read, you know.
Right.
Okay, so the synopsis is a novel about the life of Marjorie Merriweather Post, a serial heiress who became a philanthropist, entrepreneur, and presidential hostess. The book covers Post's life from her youth in Battle Creek, Michigan, to her move to New York City, where she became one of the world's richest women. On the notes, I put, homegirl liked being married, especially to Edwards.
Yes.
She had 4 husbands. 3 of the 4 had a name. So the first 2 were named Edward. Mm-hmm. One went by Eddie. One went by Ned.
Yes.
And then the 3rd husband, it was Joseph Edward.
Yeah.
So
she didn't want to change all the monograms.
Yeah. So I did find it interesting. She'd always be like, after a divorce, she would say, I thought I'd never fall in love again. And then I met 2 days later a man. Yep. And like her second husband, they got divorced, and she noticed that he was already in a relationship with a younger woman. Like a couple weeks later, it was already in the news or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Homegirl didn't have any room to talk. She got married the same year. She got divorced like 1935 and remarried 1935. Like, homegirl had no
Don't
room
be judging.
to talk.
Keep your side eye to yourself.
I've been there, sister. I have been there where I'm like, I'll never love someone else ever again.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Oh, look at you. Oh, look at this. I've never met someone like this in my life.
Would you look at that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah, honestly.
Yes.
Honestly. Yes. No, I liked it. I did put on here, if you are a believer of Eat the Rich, don't read this book.
Yeah.
Don't read this book.
Yeah.
I love how she did stand up for feminism.
Yes.
I love how it had bits and pieces of Teddy Roosevelt's daughter, Alice.
Yes.
Alice Roosevelt,
yes.
I believe. I love hearing stories about Alice Roosevelt.
She was a spitfire.
She had like a snake.
Yeah.
We're just having a crazy friend is what you need.
Yes.
And fortunately for you all,
it's Allie.
No, I thought it was good. I just wasn't a fan of her husbands. She just had such a bad choice in men.
I know. You see what I mean about wanting to like wake them from the dead and slap them, right?
God, the 3rd husband?
Yes.
The 4th husband is crazy.
Insane. If you ever read it, you'll see what we're talking about. He's
oh God.
Golly. It's bad.
Can we spoil it? Can we spoil it for Casey? Because I feel like it's something that we need to talk about.
Yes, we definitely do.
So you think she's learned her lesson, right? She's finally met this guy that's like crazy, amazing, all this other stuff.
Yes.
Tabloids come out where he's grabbing other men and kissing them and in positions with them by the pool.
Yep.
And so, yeah.
Like young men.
Yeah. And she's like in her 80s whenever she got married the 4th time.
Yeah.
She had long relationships with all of them. If you look at the timeline, she had long relationships.
Yes.
She just moved on quick.
Right.
Yeah.
My brother's always been that way, a serial lover, you know?
Well, when you're not allowed to own property or credit cards without a man.
Or make medical
he's here for my wallet.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Even though she was really the wallet.
And that's another thing. Like, the men used that against her.
Oh, yeah. They were pathetic.
Really?
Oh,
pathetic.
Evil. I hate men.
Do you know how...
I hate men.
Sorry,
do you know how long I've been the breadwinner of my...
You're not. You know that you're not the typical man.
I thought she was about to say, you know you're not a man.
This is why women snapped.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. For men like that.
The reason men call women crazy is because they
drag
They gaslight us until
We are.
especially back then with those restrictions.
Oh my God.
And you hold things over your head until you're like, well, I guess I'd be better off without you.
Women. Ugh, just women.
I love women.
Women.
But
So,
all right,
next.
Back
This
to
one?
Hannah.
this one is my least favorite one from this entire. I hated this one. Truly, Madly, Deeply by L.J. Shin. Forbidden Love, number 1.
Okay, so same author as last time.
Yes.
Uh-oh. Work,
Oh
Mom.
my gosh, Vicky.
Skip forward.
Well,
I was
Vicky, you
going to
might
say
like
pause, but don't turn it off. Just skip forward.
yeah. I've never been so disappointed in the book talk community. Do you know how many videos I saw
Oh.
of this
Okay.
book?
I know what we're doing now.
I saw so many clips of this book in Book Talk and on Bookstagram.
Are you sure they were talking about L.J. Shan?
And it was this book specifically.
Okay.
It was named. It was snippets of this book. I trusted you. And you ruined everything. Oh my gosh. Okay. So here's the synopsis. This old flame just might set them on fire. Conceited, unattainable, and downright delicious, renowned Michelin-starred chef Ambrose Casablancas has one passion in life: food. Women are a distraction, and he doesn't do those. Especially Cal Litvin, his baby sister's best friend. Her entire existence is a complication. She's awkward, eccentric, infuriating, and, much to his chagrin, hotter than his kitchen. Ambrose has a lot on his new restaurant to open, a multi-million-dollar property deal to execute, and a violent stalker to tame. Then Cal shows up at his doorstep, looking for both a job and salvation after their messy goodbye. His resolve, like his patience, is ebbing each day she works at his restaurant, because Cal is no longer a doe-eyed girl. Now, she's a woman he'll do anything to conquer. Quirky, compassionate ball of sunshine Calla Litvan can't catch a break, and not just because she swore off running. Back in her hometown to nurse her mother's broken heart after losing her father, she finds herself jobless, hopeless, and penniless. She hopes to rekindle her friendship with her former BFF, but Dylan is attached at the hip to her cruel brother, the one Cal's been secretly crushing on since middle school. Falling for the bad boy the second time around would be a mistake of gargantuan proportions. Too bad she's always been clumsy. Plot holes galore. Let me start. I've already ranted to you guys about this, but I'm going to rant to those people who convinced me that this was a book that I needed to read. Let's talk about these plot holes. You're telling me that a 14-year-old got assaulted in the woods by her entire track team, and everyone was so scared of the captain that no one spoke up about what they had done to this girl in the woods? None of the team was like, you know what? That probably wasn't a good idea.
In a fake world, yes, it should have happened. In the real world, it does happen.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. My only issue with that is I can't find more than 5 14-year-olds that can agree on the same thing at the same time. So somebody would have slipped.
Exactly. So she didn't tell anybody, not even her best friend, not even her parents that she was super close with. She told nobody about any of this until, 10 years later. Like,
Sucks.
it made her stop running because she was so traumatized. They left her to die in the woods.
So
She had to crawl out of the woods. And you're telling me she didn't tell anybody?
Is this the one where she gets severely injured and you're unsure how even her parents didn't figure something else had to have happened?
Yes.
I remember your complaint on that. I agree. The injury should have at least flagged the parents to look for something wrong.
Exactly.
Now, whether she went to her parents about it,
Right.
And for her to
be
she had
close
the injury
with the parents
Yes.
means usually you'll come up a little more with something, you know?
Like, it was such...
But at least they'd notice.
It was driven home how close she was with her parents and how great their relationship was. Like, you cannot tell me that she would have tried to hide that, or they would have let her hide that. She immediately after that quit track and never ran again. And you're telling me that didn't give you some red flags as good parents? Come on.
Right. They should have been more inquisitive.
Also, in this backwater town that doesn't want to grow, you're telling me they put in a Michelin star restaurant?
No, that one's the shocking
that
part.
One's weird. That one's
you
weird.
Wouldn't have that.
If you don't want to grow the town, you don't want to put them all, but you'll put in a Michelin star restaurant.
Who's coming to a Michelin star restaurant in the middle of nowhere?
People
With
are
no
traveling there.
And you don't want to put in a mall?
Yeah.
There's not even a hotel to stay at?
Okay, yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
Make it make sense.
Small towns are against a lot of times having any sort of growth, but it's all growth.
Right.
Yeah.
Like all you new people need to go.
Exactly.
You want one red lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
A mom and pop shop and a mom and pop restaurant.
Yep.
That's it.
You got to have the local convenience store where old Jimmy John's running the front register.
All right, and they're also trying to convince us in this book that everyone in the town was just following the mayor's lead on not allowing growth, because as soon as she was out of the picture, everybody was like, oh yeah, I'm okay with this. You're telling me a 32-year-old had that much power over these people? Like, are they really much a sheep to where as soon as she's gone, oh yeah, that's fine. Oh yeah, that's fine. You're telling me that she also...
Sheeple.
Also, to the point where they wouldn't serve Roe in the local diner, and the police weren't putting in any effort to find the people who destroyed Roe's restaurant. None. They put in no effort. If anything, they had to the door was jammed, so they had to bust their way through the window to be able to get in, and the police saw that and was like, how do I know you didn't just demolish it yourself? You're telling me that the mayor hires someone to come rough up Roe for the sake of discouraging him from allowing expansion, and Roe gets stabbed and rushed to the hospital over not wanting to expand. She hires a hitman to go and get...
Why would... Okay, not that a small town maybe wouldn't do something like that, but why would she need to if everybody else was already against expansion?
Exactly.
You've already won. You just sit back and let the person stew. Then no one has to die. You can rub it in their face when they're alive.
And it's not even... It wasn't... It didn't stop there with the stabbing, because he gets to the hospital and Cal comes to visit him, and they decide that it's a good idea to lock the door and
how do you have enough blood?
Is it not rushing to your abdomen? Would that not hurt?
I'm concerned for the internal bleeding of this.
How do you have enough blood?
So they get separated by circumstance, right? Because she's stupid, whatever. And their way of coming back together, she had saved stuff from their time growing up together. They were childhood best friends.
Cute.
She saved the first taco that he ever made her. It was still in the shell.
She didn't eat it?
No.
I'm more concerned about the mold.
For 15 years.
Is the taco pristine when she...
Did she dip it in resin?
No. It is just a taco.
Please tell me it's in resin of some form. Is it like the McDonald's double hamburger that's on display in the museum?
How much preservatives is in that freaking taco? We live in America when you can save a taco for 15 freaking years.
15 years. 15 years she saves this taco, and she uses it when she's trying to get him back to say, see, I loved you so much that I saved your taco.
Even look, babe, that's creepy. Please get away from me.
I would have been like, oh, the only way you can prove it to me is if you eat it. Really prove it.
It's like the cheese touch off Diary of a Wimpy Kid.
It's so stupid. And that's part of her
to taco.
Her proposal to him. She proposes to him on top of that. And using the taco.
Use the taco.
We had her in the first half.
Crusty
We had her in the
taco.
first half. We were trying to talk her down. We were like, it's really not that bad.
No talking me down from this. This is so stupid. The most unrealistic of them all.
It's a taco. My shirt says books are just word tacos. They took this shirt literally.
It's a taco. God. And on top of that, the most unrealistic thing about this book is that the
get worse.
epilogue is 1 year later, and she has started a podcast and she's gained 10,000 followers already.
My God, that is unrealistic. That is
She's discussing
unrealistic.
how she kept a taco for 50
True crimes. I won't believe it until I see it. If it happens to us, I'll rescind
Come on,
everything about
listeners.
this book.
Come on, listeners, prove her wrong.
Get us 10,000 followers, and I might give this book another shot. Until then, that's the most unrealistic thing. No, we have 25 subscribers right now, and I'm thankful she's going out. Oh my God, I am thankful for that.
I feel bullied.
Started.
I feel bullied.
10,000.
I mean, I got 81 followers on TikTok at least. Jesus.
On top of that,
Also, drop some tips if you're going to write that in the book. Drop some
Right.
tips.
prove it works. Prove it. She's whiny the whole book. I don't know why Ro likes her, even from the beginning. Also, let's talk about the names real fast.
Row your boat.
His name is Ro, short for Ambrose Casablancas.
That was his name?
Yes.
I thought that was the name of the restaurant.
Ambrose Casablancas.
Okay. That's a choice.
His sister was named Dylan.
That's so normal next to Ambrose.
Right. Like, if you're going to give one child a weird name, you better give the other one a weird name. What the heck? It doesn't make sense. Rose, okay. Dylan's daughter. She gives birth in the book. She names her Gravity.
You know, Steven is a good name.
Yeah.
Steven's a good name.
What happened?
John.
James.
I realized there were
We
a
can
lot of
even-
Hannahs back in the day, but you don't have to name them Gravity. Like, good God.
Gravity.
Sounds
Take
like
a
this
better
was written
man
by
than me.
Manic Pixie Dream Girl.
Oh my gosh. It was awful.
I used 17 vowels.
Sorry, Vicky.
I face planted from the hope that I had with this book.
Face palmed.
No, I like.
No, she just dropped
I
to the
was
floor.
so high.
Oh,
And I
okay.
had such high expectations that when I fell, I face planted. Oh my gosh. It was a belly flop in a pool. It was, oh my gosh, it was terrible. I'm sorry if you like this book, but please pick a better book. Pick a better book. Don't come at me with this. Until we have 10,000 followers in 1 year, don't come at me like that this book is in any way good. So,
Glad Hannah can discuss calmly.
yes. Glad I didn't lose my temper or anything. It is on Kindle Unlimited.
Lost my cool there.
It is on Kindle Unlimited, not in our local Libby.
She
So
still tells you where
don't
to get
waste
it.
your money. You better have Kindle Unlimited if you're going to read this. Don't waste your money. Ugh. Okay. I'm probably going to end up cutting a lot of that because that took a lot of time. So, Allie, it is your turn.
Okay.
You're the
is
next
it
three.
The Fury?
Yes.
Okay. So I read The Fury by, I do not know how to pronounce his last name. Same guy who wrote Silent Patient and The Maidens.
Alex
Michalade?
Something like that.
I finished on September 20th. Synopsis is Lana Farrer is a retired beloved movie star who invites her friends to come with her family on a getaway to a private Greek island that she was once gifted by her former husband. The island is idyllic and serene, but as fierce Aegean winds blow through, known as Tumenos or the Fury, tragedy strikes. A body is found lying in a pool of blood. With the police unable to reach the island until morning due to the winds, the 7 people on the island look to each other to try to figure out who the killer might be. I rated this book a 3 out of 5. I'm trying to figure out how to not to spoil this. I would rate this book higher if I knew that it was a building book, kind of like the Frost and Starlight. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
If it's a in between book for Alex to just, blow our minds with a final end to this world. Okay. So, and I also on that day I did finish One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. Elspeth Spindle needs more than luck to stay safe in the eerie, mist-locked kingdom she calls home. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her, he keeps her secrets, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. When Elspeth meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, her life takes a drastic turn. Thrust into a world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure the kingdom of the dark magic infecting it. Except the highwayman just so happens to be the king's own nephew, captain of destroyers, and guilty of high treason. He and Elspeth have until solstice to gather 12 provenance cards, the keys to the cure, but as the stakes heighten and their undeniable attraction intensifies, Elspeth is forced to face her darkest secret yet. The nightmare is slowly, darkly taking over her mind, and she might not be able to stop him.
Oh, wow. That sounds really good, actually.
It's good. It's good. I rated a 4 out of 5. Oh. Now, my sister-in-law, Cate, she has already read Two Twisted Crowns, which is the second novel.
Right.
I did have to take a pause on Two Twisted Crowns for me to be able to read A Little Life because I have it on Libby, and this book is so long that if I try to finish Two Twisted Crowns, I'm never going to finish A Little Life.
I gotcha.
She rated Two Twisted Crowns a 5 out of 5.
Really?
So I'm super excited. I'm super excited to finish this.
Oh, wow.
Raven U is the blueprint.
Really?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I'm so excited to read about it now.
It's so good. Also, it's a good book for October because it is listed under horror.
Really?
But it's not scary. It's because the monster in her brain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh. That's good to know.
I highly, highly suggest it. I did rate it a 4 out of 5. And I said a good fall read because although it is not spooky, it does have monsters. So a good read for October, especially if you like fantasy.
Gotcha.
Highly suggest it. Highly suggest it.
That sounds really good.
It is. It is super good.
I'm going to have to check that out.
I'm so excited to read Two Twisted Crowns.
You just have to get through.
I hate that I had to break it up because I only have a week left on A Little Life, and I'm only 17% of the way there.
Yeah, you got to get through that.
I got to get through it.
Otherwise, you'll get put on the wait list
And
again.
I'm pretty sure I have Behind Her Eyes.
Yes.
Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. I finished this on 9/23. Again, another long synopsis. I apologize. Louise is a single mom, a secretary stuck in a modern-day rut. On a rare night out, she meets a man in a bar and sparks fly. Though he leaves her after they kiss, she's thrilled she finally connected with someone. When Louise arrives at work on Monday, she meets her new boss, David, the man from the bar. The very married man from the bar. When Louise bumps into Adele, who's new to town and in need of a friend, but she also just happens to be married to David, and if you think you know where the story is going, think again. David and Adele look like the picture-perfect husband and wife, but then why is David so controlling, and why is Adele so scared of him? As Louise is drawn into David and Adele's orbit, she uncovers more puzzling questions than answers. The only thing that is crystal clear is that something in this marriage is very, very wrong. But Louise can't guess how wrong and how far a person might go to protect their marriage's secrets. I rated this a 4 out of 5. I was so bored through 75% of this book. maybe more. I was so bored, and I still rated it a 4 out of 5. It kept the plot twist until the very last second.
Gotcha.
And so it is a mystery, thriller, suspense. It has all the things. But it's just kind of like, I don't care. Oh my God, I should have cared. You know?
Surprise!
Netflix did come out with a TV show of it, and so far from what I watched, it seems pretty spot on.
Awesome.
As to what's happening, I'll have to finish it to really tell you.
We like to see it.
Yeah. And I did have a note. Mm-hmm. Hey, maybe if someone who has known someone else for decades tells you not to do or say something to them, maybe, just maybe, you should listen. If you just met them like a couple months ago, you're like, no, I know best. Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're like, hey, you know what? I'm on your side here.
Right.
You know how this person is. So yeah, that's how I felt about it. That was very rage-inducing because the Louise in this book, she'll be talking to somebody and they'll be like, hey, you know, just don't do it. Let me handle it. And she's like, but I know how to fix it. I'll get involved.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, oh, my God, just shut your mouth.
Just stay put for 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Let them handle just one thing.
I know how to fix it. I know how to do this. I mean, I've made this mistake 3-4 times in the past 3 weeks, but I'm still going to do it anyways.
My gosh.
But I know what to do this time.
Right.
I know how to fix it this time. I'm like, oh my God, mind your dang business.
Yes.
Mind your business.
Oh my gosh. That does sound rage-inducing.
It is. This is one of those books where you're like, I have to turn this off because I'm about to throw my phone. But it's not a bad, like, truly, madly, deeply.
Right. Yeah. That was a different kind of bad. Mm-hmm. That was a different kind of rage-inducing where it was just...
Yeah. And it does have reviews from Stephen King.
Oh, wow.
Stephen King does put a lot of reviews on thriller books, though. So there's been some books that have reviews by Stephen King where I'm like, really? Okay.
They must have asked him really nicely.
Yeah. It's a Stephen King from actually down the street. They didn't specify me, Stephen King. Okay,
that's
so
funny.
Who's next?
Hannah with The Road.
Oh, yes. So we talked about this very briefly on the back to school episode. That this was one that you had read. It's apocalyptic and stuff. So I was like, hey, I'm going to give it a try. So it's The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Listen to it on Audible on September 24th. Super quick read. A searing post-apocalyptic novel destined to become Cormac McCarthy's masterpiece. A father and his son walk alone through burned America. Nothing moves in the ravaged landscape save for the ash on the wind. It is cold enough to crack stones, and when the snow falls, it is gray. The sky is dark. Their destination is the coast, although they don't know what, if anything, awaits them there. They have nothing, just a pistol to defend themselves against the lawless bands that stalk the road, the clothes that they are wearing, and a cart of scavenged food and each other. The Road is the profoundly moving story of a journey. It boldly imagines a future in which no hope remains, but in which the father and his son, each other's world entire, are sustained by love. Awesome in the totality of its vision, it is an unflinching meditation on the worst and the best that we are capable of. Ultimate destructiveness, desperate tenacity, and the tenderness that keeps two people alive in the face of total devastation. I didn't get it.
It was a school read. So.
Yeah, and it was very... I tried not to go into it with that mindset. I still didn't get it. Like, that review that I just read was from Goodreads, and it... masterful and you know, destined to be his best work yet. I'm sorry, I didn't get it. I need more answers than it gave. Like, what happened to cause the post-apocalyptic world?
That I did want to know.
Where did the mom
brought
go?
them there? Yeah.
What were those? Who were those people that he actually ended up with? Like, who were those people? Like, I don't know. Did the guy ever get his clothes back? Like, I just didn't get it. I didn't get it. I do like that Cormac McCarthy had said at the beginning that he was from close by. Here.
Oh, cool.
Oh, really? I never knew that.
Which is really cool. Good for him, but I didn't get it. It is available on our local Libby. Other than that, paperback is the cheapest option at $8.98. Even cheaper than Kindle, which is a very rare thing to find. So, I gave it. I'm pretty sure I gave it 2 stars. Just I didn't get it. I wanted to.
Maybe you also needed a teacher instructing you halfway through.
Maybe. I think I've gotten used to getting all the information by the end.
Yeah.
You know? And can I spoil something? I know you've read it. Yeah, it's an old book. So, like, the whole point of the pistol, I feel like, and the whole point that the mom left was because she couldn't watch what could potentially happen to them if they come across one of these groups of bad people that are cannibalizing and abusing. And so that's the reason that she leaves. And she tells him that he's not going to be able to kill the boy if it comes down to it. She said, you've got to be willing to do that. Otherwise, these bad things are going to happen to him. And he said, I can do it. Well, it gets down to the end of his life. Guess what he can't do?
Yup.
And so he leaves this 6-year-old boy to go 6-year-old boy. Yeah, it was a deep one. It was a deep one. And I think the only reason that I could handle it is because I don't have kids of my own. But I feel like if I had kids, I'd be such a worry wart with kids.
Sick to my stomach.
Oh, really? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
You're not going to be able to read any of the books from my October reads then.
What?
The 6-year-old.
Mm-hmm. 6-year-old.
And it's your own baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So you have to make a decision whether to send him out on his own to either thrive or get taken advantage of, or to spare him.
Yeah.
So anyway, I reckon it's your turn now.
All right. My next read was September 25th, and it was The Only Woman in the Room by Mary Benedict. Now, I stumbled upon these. Apparently, they're a little more popular than I thought they were. I stumbled upon them in a thrift shop up in the big town.
Yeah.
And just thought I'd see if they were on Kindle or not, or Libby or anything. So I got it for Libby. Here's a quick synopsis.
Yes.
I must have been in a historical mood because this is now my second World War II book. She possessed for the month. I never read about history. She possessed a stunning beauty. She also possessed a stunning mind. Could the world handle both? Her beauty almost certainly saved her from the rising Nazi party and led to marriage with an Austrian arms dealer. Underestimated in everything else, she overheard the Third Reich's plans while at her husband's side. Understanding more than anyone would guess, she derived a plan to flee in disguise from their castle, and the whirlwind escape landed her in Hollywood. She became Hedy Lamarr, screen star. But she kept a secret more shocking than her heritage to her marriage. She was a scientist, and she knew a few secrets about the enemy. She had an idea that might help the country fight the Nazis if anyone would listen to her. A powerful novel based on the incredible true story of the glamour icon and scientist whose groundbreaking invention revolutionized modern communication. The Only Woman in the Room is a masterpiece.
So this was a biography?
It's based on. It's not a biography.
Okay.
It's loosely based.
Loosely based. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But it's a very interesting story. I gave it 4 stars. I would recommend it, but I also felt like it was kind of a 3 in portions. I don't know. 3.5. I'd give it 3.5. Yeah, I'd give it a 3.5 if I was allowed half stars.
Right.
Yeah, Goodreads.
It was a good overall.
Yeah, come on,
we
Goodreads.
should. It was a very shocking retelling of World War II. I've learned so much about history in the last month. but it was very interesting to see how like females were treated of the time, because it's also speaking about that, because women weren't respected. And she's a scientist. She has some breakthrough invention that's supposed to help America fight against the Germans, and she's ignored almost completely on the basis that she's female.
Wow.
Like it, and it's almost openly stated, and I like the message.
Yeah.
I wasn't a huge fan of how it ended, but also I think it's the only ending it could have had.
Gotcha.
At the same time.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. It was an interesting read. Yeah. There's 2 more in this series, so I'm interested to see how those go, and if they are also loosely based on real people.
Okay, so it's not like a continuation of the story. It's
Who
just
is this
more like an
loosely based on,
anthology.
do you know?
I don't know the actual person unless it is her given name here.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I didn't really do a lot of research myself on that. I was too busy leaning over to my husband going, all right, World War II. When did that one start? Which one was that one? Who were we fighting again? This one's Hitler, right?
That's funny. Yeah. No. Wow. That's. It sounds interesting and less deep than the first one.
Yeah. Hannah, the girl who fell.
The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. Holy
You were so thrilled about this one.
This one was amazing. All right, so I listened to this one on Libby, the audio version. Read it in a couple days. If I had read this book 2 months sooner, it would have been in my top 3 of individual books, without a doubt. Like Marjorie Post would be pushed to the side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So, deadly storms have ravaged Mina's homeland for generations. Floods sweep away entire villages, while bloody wars are waged over the few remaining resources. Her people believe the sea god, once their protector, now curses them with death and despair. In an attempt to appease him, every year a beautiful maiden is thrown into the sea to serve as the sea god's bride, in the hopes that one day the true bride will be chosen and end the suffering. Many believe that Shim Chong, the most beautiful girl in the village and the beloved of Mina's older brother June, may be the legendary true bride. But on the night Chong is to be sacrificed, June follows Chong out to sea, even knowing that to interfere is a death sentence. To save her brother, Mina throws herself into the water in Chong's stead. Swept away to the spirit realm, a magical city of lesser gods and mythical beasts, Mina seeks out the sea god, only to find him caught in an enchanted sleep. With the help of a mysterious young man named Shin, as well as a motley crew of demons, gods, and spirits, Mina sets out to wake the sea god and bring an end to the killer storms once and for all. But she doesn't have much time. A human cannot live long in the land of the spirits, and there are those who would do anything to keep the sea god from waking. I can't remember the last time I read a fantasy standalone.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I can't, I could not think of one to save my life. Whenever I was, writing up, doing my research, I was literally trying to think of what to compare it to, because it's a standalone fantasy book, and that's so rare. I can't think of one.
Yeah.
I can't. And it was, okay, so it was, as you can hear from the names, it's very, it's got heavy Asian influence. And it's written, the entire book, it's beautifully written, for one thing. It's written like one of those Asian cautionary tale type things. Even in the book, there's a couple that she tells the sea god, and it's, the whole book is very similar. It's like one big lesson. And it's so good. It is amazing. I immediately, after finishing this, and getting home, of course, I was on the road. But as soon as I got home, I pulled it up on Amazon. And the hardback book was on sale.
Oh, nice.
And it was cheaper. It was the cheapest. I wanted a copy. It was the cheapest option to go with a hardback book. I was like, yeah, absolutely. I'll get a hardback book. 100%. No questions asked. And it's even more on sale now. It was 40% off whenever I bought it. It's now 51% off regular price for $9.72.
Dang.
Oh, hardback book. Yeah, so jump on that. It is available on the local Libby, obviously. But this one, I mean, 5 stars, without a doubt. No hesitation at all putting that 5 stars on there.
Wow.
I loved it. I will recommend this one till the day I die. Till the day I die. I do feel like this is one of those books that are going to stick with me for a while. Because there were so many good... Man, she had some very profound lines in it, too, about sacrifice and who it's really for. And it's just... It's amazing. Read it. It is so good. And it's a standalone. Like, you don't have to commit to a series.
Yeah.
And take up a whole bunch of time. So, yeah. This one saved the month for me.
Really?
Yes. I felt like I got a whole bunch of duds this month and just a handful of good ones. This one saved the day. Saved it.
Okay.
So, and I finished it on, it was September 26th.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
My next.
You are next, Miss
Okay.
Thang.
So we discussed in one episode that it was hard for me to read Apprentice to the Villain because I wanted to read one book.
Yes.
You know, and so I ended up reading neither. This was the book that I wanted to read so bad. I finally finished it on 9/27. It's called We Used to Live Here by Marcus Cleaver. Okay, it is a horror novel, and we are about to talk about that.
Yes.
I will go ahead and read the synopsis first.
Yes.
As a young queer couple who flip houses, Charlie and Eve can't believe the killer deal they've just gotten on an old house in a picturesque neighborhood. As they're working on the house one day, there's a knock on the door. A man stands there with his family, claiming to have lived there years before, and asking if it would be all right if he showed the kids around. People pleaser to a fault, Eve lets them in. As soon as the strangers enter their home, uncanny and inexplicable things start happening, including the family's youngest child going missing and a ghostly presence materializing in the basement. Even more weird, the family can't seem to take the hint that their visit should be over. And when Charlie suddenly vanishes, Eve slowly loses her grip on reality. Something is terribly wrong with the house and with the visiting family. And is it the visiting family, or is Eve just imagining things?
Ooh, that sounds...
This is the horror novel that I want. This is it.
That checks all your boxes?
This is it. So, yes, I did rate it a 4 out of 5. The ending is so rage-inducing.
I gotcha.
Oh my God.
Don't spoil it. I kind of want to read it.
I can't. It's good rage inducing. That's what they want you to feel.
Okay.
But for me, it did rank lower.
Gotcha.
Last episode, I talked about long legs.
Yes.
That clip I showed you all where he's going. You know?
Yes.
I'm going to spoil this part. She's up in the attic.
Uh-huh.
She has a flashlight. She's looking for tire chains because she's trying to get this family out.
Right.
Because he's like, oh, well, we don't have tire chains, so we can't leave because it's snowing so bad. Well, we can't leave. Okay, well, I've got tire chains.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it. You got it. You know, you don't even have to bring it back to us. You can keep them.
Right.
She's trying to get this family out at this point. So she goes up into the attic to find these tire chains. She has this flashlight. Her flashlight turns off. Okay. Then it starts flickering, okay? And whenever she turns around to see where the flashlight is pointing, there is a woman in a hospital gown with gnarled fingers with her hands covering her face. I quite literally, it caught my breath in my throat.
Oh my gosh.
Because the light starts flickering out, and you can hear the woman shuffling. And the light will turn on and she'll be closer to her. It is so scary. I got that feeling.
Throw the book.
And for it to happen right after I watched Long Legs, which gave me that feeling for the first time in forever.
Dude.
This is the book that I want. This is the book whenever I say I like horror novels, this is that. It's not gruesome. it is so suspenseful. And then at the end, you're like, what is going on? What is going on? Like,
oh my gosh.
I highly...
That sounds
Every chapter
spectacular.
has a scene like that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How old is this book?
Recent. It came out this year, I do believe.
What if they turn it into a movie?
Casey's like, well,
I won't be reading this, nor will I watch it.
I've blocked it out. She's blocked out the whole thing that I just said.
Were you
You
talking?
can visibly see a
Hannah
shade
was.
go over her eyes.
Dude, that sounds great then.
It is fantastic.
I'm adding that to my October.
Yeah, I did rate this a 4 out of 5. There's a reason that it's on top selling for horror novels, and I mean, authors, writers, maybe take notes.
Make more like this.
Yeah,
So much
I
sass from
wonder-
some people who only have 25 listeners.
Yeah, so
One of them's bound to be a writer, maybe.
Back up. Don't let her stay.
Backing it up.
I missed one.
Then Hannah has 3 women.
And then that's it. And that's all of mine.
Okay, I have a lot to say about this.
Oh, yeah. Let's
Okay.
get into it.
I finished this September 24th. I got my
26.
26. I got my numbers mixed up. Okay.
Gotcha.
Joanne knows how lucky she is. Richard is a wonderful husband. Evie is the most gorgeous baby girl. They live in a beautiful house. Life couldn't be better. But then Richard's 20-year-old daughter, Chloe, turns up. Chloe hasn't spoken to her father since the day she married Joanne 2 years ago. He married Joanne 2 years ago. But with the arrival of her baby sister, Evie, Chloe wants to make peace. Richard is delighted, and since Joanne is struggling with the new baby, he suggests Chloe should move in and help. It sounds like the perfect solution, even if Chloe doesn't seem to like Joanne very much. But Joanne understands it's not easy for her, and she's prepared to give her time. But then things happen that make Joanne feel like she's losing her mind. She misplaces things, misses important appointments, gets dates wrong. Could Joanne be going mad just like her own mother? Or is something more sinister happening? Is Chloe really here to help? Or has Joanne made a terrible mistake by letting her move in? And is it too late to ask her to leave?
Ooh.
I made a note. The gaslighting is worse than what you see on Love Island. Parentheses. A.k.a. it's bad. It is rage-inducing. Her husband.
We hate men.
We hate men. In fact, I hate all men. Another thing is, Joanne buys security cameras, so that way she can prove that she's not being crazy, that Chloe is doing all this stuff. Like, for instance, she holds Evie, and she's, like, bouncing her. Evie is, like, 3 months old, I think. You can't bounce a baby like that without support. And she's bouncing her, and Joanne's like, here, let me hold her. Like, just support her head, like trying to get her. And then whenever Richard, her husband, walks into the room, Chloe just starts crying and is like, Joanne says that I'm not holding her right. But then she starts actually holding the baby right. And Richard's like, oh, well, Joanne, why in the world would you even think such a thing of my Chloe, who I haven't seen in 16 years? Come on, dude. Come on, bro. So Joanne put security cameras to kind of catch Chloe.
Right.
I put, homegirl is going to buy cameras to put in the house in plain sight, but won't hit record on her phone and hold it down by her side to show her husband later. Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now. Because
you got to know these tricks, ladies.
they find the security cameras, obviously.
Right.
She put them like right there.
My gosh.
For example, there is a fireplace right here. She put it right here, like on the mantle. And she's like, how did she find it? Come on.
It wouldn't have
Get
been
real.
any easier if you had labeled it.
Right. Right.
And I also put, little Miss Girl needed a butt busting. And I don't
The
believe in
mom or
butt
the
bustings.
20-year-old?
The 20-year-old. Okay, which brings me to, this girl is supposed to be 20. She turns 21 years old in the book. But I kept forgetting that and started picturing a 12-year-old because of how she acted. She literally stomped her feet through tantrums, and her dad's like, Joanne, you're being so crazy.
20-year-olds don't get
up. I hate men.
20-year-olds don't get butt bustings. They catch these hands.
Yeah, for real. She needed to.
Yes.
She needed to.
Sounds like it.
There's one point in the book where Joanne's like, all right, get out of the car. And Chloe's like, are you really going to leave me here? After she acted like a total brat. A total brat. I would have been like, heck yes, I'm leaving you here. Maybe you'll learn your lesson.
A grown adult with her own wallet and phone and can find another way home.
Isn't that crazy?
For sure.
Isn't that crazy? You didn't want nothing to do with me for the past 2 years. So yeah, I'm going to leave you here.
Yeah.
And you know what? And so she would go to her husband and be like, I don't feel comfortable with Chloe being here. I just have an odd feeling. I don't feel comfortable. And Richard's like, but I'm finally connecting with my daughter. Oh my God. Men, listen to your wives, especially whenever she has a 3-month-old baby. Her hormones are crazy. And yes, you're going to think, oh my God. But in that moment in time, it is so real. I was just discussing this with my mom. Nobody talks about postpartum being a whole range of emotions. Mm-hmm. They only talk about the depressing side, which is good. They do need to talk about depression because it is so real for so many people.
Right.
I didn't know that I would go through points where I'm so happy, everything is so fantastic, to I am pissed off and nobody can make it better, to I am so sad, why am I crying? I do not know, to I want to be by myself, to why does nobody want to talk to me? Mm-hmm. All this other different things, nobody talks about that, so I am here to talk about it. There are things that happened whenever Isla was 3 months old where it was very real to me.
Right.
And other people probably didn't think so. Like, you know, I probably had discussions with Aaron where I was so coming out of left field, but it was real to me.
Right.
And if he told me that I was being crazy, it's untelling what I could have done.
Yeah. Right. You could have busted it into tears, or you could have busted his face.
Untelling what I could have. I, you know, and honestly, I'm here for the women who are postpartum. I think all of us are here for the women who are postpartum because, oh my God. Mm-hmm. Nobody, I'm here to warn you, it's not just depression. You are going to be mad. You are going to be so happy. You are going to be, emotions are all over the place. Don't look out for just depression. It is everything.
Yes.
So, that's another thing to think about with this book. Oh my God, the gaslighting is so insane. I would literally, I would listen to this, and I would scream at my radio. Yeah. Yep. No. So, anyway.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah,
I'm still going to add it to my list.
Yes, that is Don't Let Her Stay by Nicholas Sanders. So,
you gave it how many stars?
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
Gotcha.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. That's how my 3 out of 5 stars are. It's okay.
Right.
It's a read.
Yeah.
I read it.
Yeah.
I did.
It's a proof.
It's a book.
Right. So my last one of the month, I finished up on September 27th. Okay, so The Three Women by Valerie Keough. When Beth, Megan, and Joanne meet at university, they become inseparable friends who do anything for one another, even agreeing to keep what happens one shocking night a secret. Now in their 40s and outwardly successful, each of the three has dealt with what happened in their own way, but secrets and lies leave their mark. When Megan decides to tell her fiancé the truth about that night, it threatens to ruin the lives of everyone around her, and someone is prepared to do anything to stop that happening. I was a little disappointed by the ending. All three of them made decisions in their lives. The paths that they chose were based off of the lie from that night and their own individual lies that also came from that night and the day after. And in my opinion, the lie that Joanne had and the lie that Bethann, or Bethann, shout out Bethann, hey, love you. The lie that Joanne told and the lie that Beth told, I feel like the roles should have been switched based on the choices that they made throughout their life. Yeah. Like they said that this was part of, what made them who they were, but it felt like they were backwards a little bit. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't want to, spoil it or anything. I mean, I gave it a 2, but it might be for somebody. Somebody may be able to look past what I wasn't able to.
Yeah.
That felt like a plot hole to me. And it might not be that way for everybody. Yeah. So I don't want to spoil anything, but I just feel like Joanne and Beth's paths should have been different, or their lives. They were already, Beth at least was already semi set on her path. But Joanne was not. I feel like their lives should have been switched with it. So that was a little disappointing. Her entire house, all the decorations, all the furniture, everything was white. And I thought it would make sense if she had, say, killed someone, that she got obsessive about cleaning. And so she used a bunch of white to her base color was white so that, she could bleach it and clean it. And that wasn't her big lie. That wasn't her big secret. So it was like, what's with all the white? That's weird. That's weird. Yeah, I felt like there were a lot of holes, and that's why I only gave it 2 stars. But I guess, it's... Somebody might like it. It's good for October, I guess.
Yeah. Creepy.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah. So it is available on Kindle Unlimited, but not currently available through our local Libby. There is a... it's on there as a notify me thing. So who knows? Maybe it's coming, but I would say save it. I would say don't worry about it. That was the last one for the month. That was number 13 for me.
Oh, daggum.
Yes. So who is next?
Well, I had the next one.
Yes, you did.
What date? September 30th. I finished it on the last day of the month.
Yeah, you did.
Everyone Here is Lying. I didn't realize I'm reading another book by this person.
Oh,
Cherie LaPena. That's the one I'm reading now.
Oh.
Everyone Here is Lying.
She must like her.
I apparently do. I didn't realize I did. Okay. William Wooler is a family man on the surface, but he's been having an affair that ended horribly this afternoon at a motel up the road. So when he returns to his house, devastated and angry to find his difficult 9-year-old daughter, Avery, unexpectedly home from school, William loses his temper. Hours later, Avery's family declared her missing. Suddenly, Stanhope doesn't feel so safe, and William isn't the only one on his street who's hiding a lie. As witnesses come forward with information that may or may not be true, Avery's neighbors become increasingly unhinged. Who took Avery Wooler? Nothing will prepare you for the truth. I gave this 4 stars. It wasn't perfect. There were a couple of loops, minor plot holes, very minor plot holes. It was a really intriguing story, though. And I didn't feel like it was very easy to figure out what was happening throughout the entire thing. And I love its twist on small town neighborhoods in the USA where you figure out everyone's going to blame everybody because they're looking out their windows, and anyone who's a little strange, you're now the suspect.
Suspect number 1. Yeah.
But this one had a lot of twists that I don't think many people are going to be able to pick up on quickly. But it is just a mystery thriller. It's nothing horror filled.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's trigger warning for kidnapping of children if that's something that bothers you. This one, you don't know what's going on. You're not sure.
Typical thriller stuff.
But yeah,
err on the safe side. But
great read though. I would recommend this one to anybody.
I've seen it on Book Talk.
Have you?
Yeah.
That was the end of my month. So we're back down to Ali finishing us out.
Okay.
Ali finished 2.
Yes, I finished
in
Apprentice
1 day.
to the Villain that day. Yes, because I wanted to go ahead and get it in my September reads. And I started and finished Paris, a memoir by Paris Hilton.
You read that in 1 day?
Yes, I started and finished it.
Nice.
This is my 5 out of 5.
Really?
This is my 5-star.
Paris Hilton was your 5 out of 5?
Don't get me wrong. I got it on Libby because it was like I didn't have a I didn't have one that was up next on mine. So I was like, I'll read it.
Right.
Fill
Fill the time.
Yeah. So growing up, Paris Hilton was on every tabloid, every magazine.
Yes.
She's so skinny. She made a sex tape. She's a party girl. She's unhinged. She's so stupid. If they only knew what she had been through. And again, I said this with the Magnificent Lives of Marjorie post. This is another heiress memoir. So I know that I said, if you believe in Eat the Rich, then don't read this book. If you believe in Eat the Rich, you're probably going to be like, oh my God, a rich girl complaining about the life she lived. She goes into detail. She was into partying, sneaking out. Her parents, Kathy Hilton, you are on my list.
Oh, gosh.
Her parents signed her up for one of those troubled teen camps.
Yeah.
And she was there for 2 years.
2 years?
2 years, from 16 to 18. And then they were going to put her in another camp from 18 to 19. But luckily, she got out. The stuff that Paris went through, how she didn't do worse, I don't know. So she goes into detail about how these brochures for these camps, Dr. Phil has sent people to these camps. All these doctors recommend these teens go to these camps to help them. Because even I'm a big fan of Dr. Phil. I used to watch his show all the time, and they would send them to these troubled teen camps. And you're like, oh, they get to ride horses. They get to, learn how to live off the land. They made her do a strip search at 16 years old. And where she had to squat down, spread her cheeks, and cough in front of men. In front of grown men who were sitting there laughing, saying, oh, wouldn't you like a piece of that, heiress? And her mom and dad sent her there. Mind you, Paris is the oldest of her family. She is I'm going to cry. She is my Isla. I don't care what brochure I saw. Going 2 years without talking to my Isla.
Oh, gosh, yeah. I couldn't imagine.
Kathy Hilton, you are on my list. Kathy has never once apologized to Paris, even after finding out what all Paris has went through. Paris Hilton then comes out of these troubled teen camps and is blasted on magazines for being too skinny, for partying too hard. She openly talks about how she used that as a coping mechanism because they sat there and told her that she was worthless and that she was nothing and that, oh, don't worry, mommy and daddy will be able to help you. Mommy and daddy weren't there.
No.
I don't understand how you could do that to a parent, to a child.
Yeah.
That book, I know it's going to sound crazy because it's Paris Hilton and she's been lambasted all through our lives.
Yeah.
This book is going to save lives because she has already saved lives because parents have gone up and told her, I didn't realize that these camps did that to these children. These camps, just the stuff that these children have had to go through because their parents have sent them. And again, these brochures make it seem like it's a good place, and it's not. It's not. They use corporal punishment on children. They have medical power of attorney over these children to where they can sedate them. Yeah. So this book is
because as a parent on a surface level, you're thinking if they were to
shaking.
Get violent, but that's not.
They can sedate them.
Yeah.
At 16 years old, 2 years of her life was taken from these people. She has gone in front of the court system and has talked about these camps and has gotten camps shut down. And still, whenever we think of Paris Hilton,
you think of 2000s.
We think of that stupid girl who said, oh, at Walmart, do they sell stuff for walls? We think of her. Mm-hmm. whenever I don't know if you all have seen the TikToks. She doesn't talk like that.
No.
She doesn't talk like that.
Yeah.
That's an act.
Yeah.
And
I have seen that.
I could not believe it. Whenever I first started reading it, I was like, oh, this is going to be a fun little thing. Like I said, it hit me so hard that I'm like to the point of crying right now. Mm-hmm. It is a 5 out of 5 star for me. I can't believe what all she had to go through, and then to come out and be treated by the public. We did her so dirty. Mm-hmm. We all did her so wrong. Mm-hmm. We all did her.
Not even really we, though. Like, the paparazzi needs to be shut down.
Yes.
Because this is what they do to people.
Yes. They paint them in whatever light is going to sell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever's going to get them clicks.
Paris Hilton deserves a redo. And I do believe that, this is her chance of getting a redo. Poor woman, she's 43 years old. Mm. And Paris Hilton, I know you're not watching this, but if you are, I'm 15 years younger than you, but I'll be your mama. Kathy, apologize to your daughter. You may not have known. So she says, well, we really didn't have another choice. Apologize for what she had to go through.
Yeah.
That's simple.
Oh, yeah.
That is simple.
That is all you have to do.
You don't know what you put us through to get us to that point. Okay, place the blame on her.
Yeah.
The child.
Yeah. You're still the parent.
Be an adult. Act like
you
it.
can say you're sorry that you didn't realize that was happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
That you accidentally made a mistake,
yes.
if that's the
I
case.
wish I never would have sent you.
Right. If I'd have known what was going to happen,
yes.
I wouldn't have.
They got put in solitary confinement with only like half a meal a day.
My gosh.
Yeah, it's tough. Made her do a hike in the woods with no shoes. I mean, just like constant, just torture.
It's inhumane.
And I'm so mad at her mom. I'm so mad. Mm-hmm. As a mom, I'm mad.
Yeah. Because people like that shouldn't be moms.
No, especially whenever you have the resources that you do.
Yeah.
You have the resources.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's people that want to be moms right now that can't be. And then there's women like this.
Yeah. Who have the absolute resources to be able to give their child protection.
Yep.
And they don't. And
they squander that opportunity.
That is my book. 5 out of 5.
Phew, that's a deep one.
Yeah.
It is.
Broke my heart.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Still breaks my heart. So.
I'll make anybody.
Anybody
with a heart.
Yeah. Whenever I was telling Aaron that I read it, he was like, wow. And I was like, I was wondering the same thing until I realized what all she went through.
Right.
Yeah. It is a tough read. It is a tough read. So.
Proceed with caution.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So sorry to end on a downer.
What a way to end.
Oh, wow. Wait. I think I already talked about Apprentice to the Villain. Sorry.
Yeah.
Clip it. Slice it. Slice it.
Slice and dice.
Yeah.
End on a better note.
Sorry to end that on a downer.
No, I mean, that's the whole point of these debriefs, I feel like, is that we read everything. We read the hard stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
To let you know what to expect, for one thing.
Thank God I'm reading Under the Whispering Door right now by T.J. Klune. If you need to pick me up, Under the Whispering Door or anything by T.J. Klune.
That sounds like anything by T.J. Klune.
Yes, I am a fan. I highly recommend T.J.
I'm on
Klune.
the wait list for House in the Cerulean Sea.
Yeah, it's good. It's
fingers
good.
Crossed we get it soon.
Maybe read a deep... read Paris before.
And then go to the happy read.
Thank God for T.J. Klune.
Yes.
Yeah.
I haven't even read his books yet, but just the synopsis of the one, I'm so excited to read it.
Yeah.
So excited.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, this concludes our September monthly debrief.
Whoop whoop.
Wow. 29 books. I mean, I think that's a record for us.
That's a lot.
Holy cow.
That's a record
sorry
for us.
that you've had to...
I have no apology. All right. So join us next week. You have 1 week, if you haven't yet, to read Apprentice to the Villain. Well, Assistant to the Villain first, and Apprentice to the Villain for next week. Oh, gosh. We're excited about that. We are excited. So join us next week for Apprentice to the Villain Book Club. And then who knows where we're going
spooky
from there.
stuff.
We're going to get into
Yes.
spooky
Halloween.
stuff. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Controversy, spooky. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, we're gonna make everybody mad with that controversy one.
Yes.
Be on the lookout. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Mwah.
Mwah.